Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Uncle Bruce here from Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome to my channel. We talk about the stock markets in plain English and let you know what's going on out there. How you doing today? Today's date is June the 15th, halfway through June here, 2021. It's a Tuesday, and we're alive and we're well. Although here in Creston, where I am, oh man, we've got rain coming down here, real sharp activity, lightning in the area. Hoping that I don't get knocked off the air, uh, laying low. But we're fine. We're fine so far. Anyway, we're good. Cheers to all of you around the world who watch me from wherever you are. Let me know today, what city in the world are you watching me from? What city or town? What country? Let everyone on YouTube know just how global this channel is. It's amazing how I have so many folks from Europe watching me and everywhere else. And of course, over North America, obviously, US, Canada, the Caribbean. It's amazing how many there are of you who are with me today. What are we watching today is the question. Also, by the way, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Portland, right there. Those are the first three cities to come in. Just, boom. I ask, and I shall receive. St. Louis, Lubbock, here we go. Bristol, Toronto, Santa Maria, California, Chicago's here, Tokyo. We've got Justin, Texas, Boise, Idaho. How you doing in Boise? Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got Connecticut, Philly, Trenton, New Jersey, Long Beach in New York, Houston, Texas. Green Shirt Day, that's right. Morning, everybody. Springfield, Illinois, Virginia Beach. Look at where you are all from. Northampton, in the UK, Omaha, Rahway, Jersey, Boston, Arthas in Denmark. They just keep coming in. LA, Houston, New York. Good morning from Washington. Good morning, New York. Hi from Central Florida, Manhattan, Big Apple, baby. Tulsa, Tampa Bay area, Florida, Madrid, South San Francisco. Good morning, Uncle Bruce from Quebec. Paso Robles, California, Manchester, Myrtle Beach, Longmont, Colorado, Augusta, Maine, Wetumpka, Alabama with Bama Babe. Right on. Adam, Schwartz, Texas, Orlando, Worcester, Massachusetts, coming in from everywhere. Look at this global reach of this channel. Stunning. Welcome all of you. Dublin, Boston, Santa Cruz, Edmonton in Alberta, New York City, Troy, Ohio, St. George, Utah, Cornwall, Wetumpka, Alabama from Bama Babe, Andrew, Buffalo, New York, Cologne, Deutschland, sehr gut. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. That's morning for me, but guten Abend for you, I think, in the afternoon or evening. Good morning. Between Disney and Universal Studios, that's where I am right now. All right. Morning from Austin, Gloucestershire, Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm confused in Iowa. Port St. Lucie, Florida. We're reporting in London. Watching from Caledonia, Wisconsin, Cancun, Mexico. Where are you watching me? Yeah, that's right. Where are you at, guys? Dublin, Romania is here. I'm here from the moon, baby. We'll see you soon when you get up here. Legionnaire, thumbs ups. Love Boat Captain, new member. Hey, how you doing, Love Boat Captain? You have to reply to my email. I'm waiting to hear from you both this weekend. What's going on? I haven't heard from you. How you doing? Kesequan, Iowa. Tim B, fellow neighbor. Hello, neighbor. And we've got Toronto here, the North Carolina coast. We have Sweden here. Oh man, where aren't people from? It's incredible. From around the planet, everywhere. I love it. Beautiful blue sky, Winnipeg, Chicago, Perth, Ontario. In Innsmouth, Massachusetts. Welcome, LBC. Hello from Auckland in New Zealand. Wellington, New Zealand. Oh my gosh. Welcome, Love Boat. Welcome, Love Boat. Staffordshire, UK, New Orleans, Bonners Ferry. Wow, that lightning week, that's 20 miles from my house. Bonners Ferry and I are 20 miles apart. And we get a lightning show going on around here. Welcome, Captain Boat. Welcome, Love Boat. Sofia, Bulgaria, New Orleans, Rock Hill, South Carolina. Man, that's awesome. Welcome, everybody. Detroit, Minneapolis. Hey, Adam from Texas. We got Brazil, Tuscaloosa, L.A., Leon Minister, Massachusetts, Puerto Rico, Northamptonshire, south of Memphis, New Yorker living in exile in central New Jersey. Hi, Sharon. How you doing? Ryan, not sure it's healthy to be addictive to live with Uncle Bruce every morning. I'm not sure about this. Jane Doe, Auckland winds was the furthest. Brussels, Comox, BC, Duckworth, the butcher coming. Las Vegas. Hi, Nancy from Las Vegas. Oh my goodness! You won the hockey game last night, up 1-0 on Montreal. Groton, I can't pronounce it. DeKalb, Illinois. Topeka, Kansas. Good morning. North Tampa, Chattanooga, Mars, South Dakota. Nashville. Welcome, Captain Stubing. The healthiest thing you can do for your bank account, at least. Investing. New Jersey. Thank you, everybody, for popping through here. Between your students and Disney, could be California, Florida. Which one is it? That's true. We don't know. I'll take anyone. One cancellation. And Rare's facility. I have 10 viewers who want the soonest possible opening for one of my one-on-ones, and every weekend, I make sure that my calendar is set. And I send out emails usually on Mondays to those who I'm still waiting on for. Are you showing up this Saturday? Are you there? And people don't respond to me sometimes, and I kind of go, how long do I wait before I give it away? Give the slot away to somebody else. I don't want to give a slot away to somebody who was misunderstanding the timing or whatever. And so I do try to reach out to my viewers and say, hey, if you've made an appointment to be with me this weekend or next weekend. Let's make sure we're on the same page here. And like I say, there are people out there going, I'll take any opening you got anytime you got it. So it is kind of crazy. But thank you, those of you who are reaching out and who are seeing me. I do enjoy these one-on-one sessions, Saturdays and Sundays. It's fantastic because it's incredible the viewpoint I get from each of you. What your world is like and everything. And I learn as much from you as you from me, I think. Thank you, all of you. Colorado listening, but Puerto Rico at the moment. Houston, Texas. Are we saying where we're from today? I'm asking, what city are you at? Where are you at, baby? What town, what state, what country? Just to show me and the rest of us how global this channel really is. Ciao from Milano, Tokyo, East or West London is the best. Rhode Island, let's go New England. Hello from New Rochelle, New York. Grand Rapids, Michigan. We should rain this around the world with Bruce. Good morning, Bagel Gang International. Yoko Ono, Denmark. That's where I'm from. Brentwood, Tennessee. Let's go Islanders. Woohoo, Islanders. That name gets everybody. It's pronounced Lemonster, Leominster. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Where are we here? People are wondering, where's everybody from? Good morning, everybody, and welcome all of you to the show today. I'm glad you're all here. Dallas is here, Quebec, Rhode Island, Akron, Omaha, the Netherlands, from Cleveland. If I have someone from Cleveland, I've got everybody. Because once you got Clevelanders, you got the world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because if you can make it in Cleveland, where can't you make it? I mean, come on. Talk to me. Let's go Islanders. There you go. Anyway, thank you guys. I just love this international group. Welcome one, welcome all. Speaking of international, it's funny how the world works. When I was in the business, when I was a day-to-day stockbroker, a branch manager, VP, I had my 40 employees that I had to, watch over, and it's incredible how you didn't realize it at first, but as the weeks and months and years go by, you would be so used to and so how do I say it? Um, I'd meet a relative I hadn't seen in a year. Let's say, the old Christmas get together, Christmas once a year was so and so, and they'll say, "Hey, how you doing? How's it going with you? You're doing the brokerage thing, right?" You're going, "Yeah, I do. I'm doing the brokerage thing." And they'll ask you, "Are you have you been following the story about so and so?" And it might be a story out of somewhere in Canada, and go, "Yeah." And and then the conversation shifts to, "Well, what do you think about what's happening in the USA about this?" And then I'll have a thought on that, and then it'll be, what's the biggest thing that you're watching right now in your offices, blah blah blah. And then I'll bring up something from London, or something from Germany, or something European, or something from China, or something Japan, because I'm a stock market guy, and I have to know what's going on everywhere. And these relatives of mine would look at me and just wonderment, going, "Well, how are you so familiar with what's happening everywhere at the same time?" And I would say, "Well, it's kind of my job, and I do have access to worldwide news feeds through my office, through the Dow Jones ticker machines and everything else. And we watch the stock markets in Europe. We watch them in Asia, to gauge the world take on what's happening. And we're aware of the fact that the largest consumer market in the world is North America, mainly the U.S., but Canada. We're just as consumer hungry as Americans are. And so what happens here can really affect what can happen elsewhere. It's this chain effect. And a lot of I had a lot of clients over the years who were Americans, who were based in Calgary and working there, oil patch, and they were amazed at how familiar I was with what was going on in Washington. Calgary, Alberta, Canada, a little oil company, oil capital of Canada. And I knew what was going on. I knew who the Republicans were. I knew who the Democrats were. I kind of knew which leading governors were leaning in what direction. And they're amazed that you're just a stockbroker in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and you're on top of all these. You know who they are. You know the party affiliations, and the direction the parties are headed and all that. And I go, "Yeah, I have to know. I have to know. I can't not know this as part of my job, because policy coming out of Texas or Florida or California or Washington can affect global markets." And they were blown away. They had no idea. They hadn't it hadn't occurred to them that the vote that they make at the state level can actually affect world markets, depending on just whatever that governor and party wants to do. It can happen. Sometimes it's a trade dispute. Sometimes it's a battle between U.S. states, where Boeing, for example, will want to build a new plant to assemble aircraft, and there are 5 states going for the plant. They want the plant, and it is it's just a free for all. It's a war. I mean, it's a war between states to get the spot. Dana, thank you for this contribution. I'll take the Love Boat Captain spot. Thank you. It's not available yet. I have to find out first. Anyway, we would watch this in Calgary, because we would see disputes like this, because we would notice, oh, this state is offering all kinds of tax incentives to Boeing to get them to decide to come here, and this state over here is offering all kinds of, say, uh, company friendly policies to encourage them to open here. In other words, we won't allow them to unionize here. We won't allow unions, or we'll make it so difficult for unions to organize here that you, as a corporation, will like it here. Another state will say, we'll give you a tax holiday for 5 years, and on and on. I mean, it's a war against states for a U.S. company to open up a new plant in another state. And we watch it with great interest, and we also shake our heads and go, "Wow, why do these states give away the farm to these hugely profitable corporations that are going to pay next to nothing in taxes?" They're just grinding one against the other on purpose, and they are in effect finding ways to maximize profits and minimize taxes payable, which means what are they offering society in that region? I do get it that if you build a big plant in the middle of a area that needs employment, you're going to create jobs and spin off jobs, of course, all of that stuff. But from the top down, the guys who can afford to pay taxes are being given these incredible holidays. It's all on the lower end workers to pay it. The tax generated and all the wealth generation for the county, the state, the community, it comes from the lower end, not from the upper end. So the rich get richer and the poor pay the freight. And the other states lose out, and then these governors and these local leaders get blamed by their voters for not getting that Boeing plant. And no one's happy. In effect, there's winners, losers, but we sit in Canada and we go, wow, this is incredible how expert, how incredibly good and smart these corporations are to grind the best deal for themselves at the expense of the American taxpayer. It's just incredible. It's the game, and there are consultants who are hired by these companies to find the jurisdictions that are the hungriest, that'll give up the most. And that also, there are people out there, there are consultants out there in the USA and every country. This is happening in Canada too. This is not an American thing. This happens, I would say, definitely in our two countries for sure. I'm not sure so much in Europe because it's more of a state thing, but here it's definitely it's a sport. But there are consultants in this North America area who are living in very nice homes, driving very nice cars, whose job it is to help corporations pay as little tax as humanly possible. And in effect, they're in a way hurting their own countries, kind of, in a backhanded kind of way. Although these folks make a lot of money and pay taxes themselves, and so they spend money on a nice car and they pay sales tax on the car, and they buy a nice house and they pay higher property taxes. I mean, the money goes around, but it's funny how the sport of avoiding taxes is a huge business. And in Washington, the lobbyists, the army of lobbyists in Washington, are staggering, and the average investor has no idea. The average citizen has absolutely no idea just how extensive the lobby network is in all countries' capitals, and in the U.S., of course, and in Canada, every province and state capital surrounded by lobbyists and influencers to get what they want and keep what they've got, so it doesn't get taken away. And all that hard-fought battle we had 10 years ago, we want to keep that in place. And if a new administration comes in, we want to make sure we're on the inside and they don't take away from us. Everybody wants a new bridge in their community, but no one wants to pay for it. But everybody wants it, and we know we need the highways repaved, and we need them redesigned, but don't tax us on it. It's the sport of sports, and it is what it is. So anyway, when I was a broker back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I had to be aware globally. And when you are based outside of your country as an expatriate, when I was in the Cayman Islands, that's another whole world to be in, because now you have that little island world that you're in part of, but you're now watching the globe from another perspective. So instead of being in Canada or in North America, you're kind of out of main North America. I'm still part of North America in the Caymans, but I'm on a little island in the Caribbean. And now we are looking at world developments from a whole different altitude and a whole different perspective again. And you realize quite quickly as a Canadian how little Canada matters. You find that there are very few stories about Canada that make the international press headlines. It's a rarity to see a Canadian headline of any significance show up. And yet how dominant the American headlines are, and how dominant Germany and the UK and France and so on. It is another perspective. So when you're I think for a lot of you out there who watch me from North America, the only time you get this is if you leave the US on a holiday to another country and then try to find out what's going on back home. And you can't find out very much what's going on back home, because what happens in Virginia doesn't matter in Paris. What happens in Massachusetts doesn't matter in Frankfurt. They don't care. And you wonder, Oh, wow, am I out of touch? And of course, those of you in Europe, you hear about American stuff and Canadian stuff, but it's through your press agencies, and they decide, what's relevant to you in your area and what isn't, unless you're going digging for it. But as a financial guy, we had to know business news globally all the time. We had to constantly be on top of it. And so we would constantly be scouring the Reuters news agencies, the Dow news agencies, and everything else to stay on top of every little bit of news. Right now, today and tomorrow, the world of finance is focused on a meeting that no one can go to, a meeting that no reporter is allowed in on, a meeting where no one will comment to the media after the meeting is over, a meeting where all the participants going to the meeting will not speak to the press and are not expected to. And yet, the world financial press will try to interpret what they're talking about uh, forever. Like it will be nonstop coverage, wall to wall, and it could affect stock markets dramatically and could affect capital markets dramatically. And what am I talking about? The Fed meetings. What are the Fed meetings? The Fed meetings is where the Federal Reserve has their 2-day meetings every month in Washington to go over interest rate policies, federal currency policies, bond buying policies. It's, in other words, it's the talk of the world about what interest rates might be doing and how does the Fed feel about inflation. Are they worried about inflation as an ongoing thing, or are they thinking that this is just an anomaly? We have high inflation due to the reopening of the global economy, and this will all settle itself down as everything gets up and running again. What about the bond policies, or issuing notes, or should we tighten rates, or should we loosen rates? What about money supply? And because this is it's like the heartbeat of economics, global economics. Everyone cares. And what a lot of you might not know is in your own country, no matter what country you live in, your central bankers are listening and checking the blood pressure and heart rate of the Fed, especially these next 2 days, today and tomorrow. And they are no matter what time zone you're in, it doesn't matter. The lights are on day and night. The lights are on at the central bank of your country, and they are keenly aware of every little nuance of hints as to what might be coming up in the next 3 to 6 months. It could affect currency rates between countries. It could affect inflation rates. It could affect interest rates, and it could affect government policy for every government in the world instantaneously. And that's how powerful and how important today and tomorrow are to the financial markets, which translates eventually to you. Eventually, it comes down to you. And most people in the world have no clue. That 99.9% of the population, one, they don't care. Why would I care about what the Fed does? Well, theoretically, you don't have to care on a minute-to-minute basis, but the big picture, you care. And the markets will react in 300-point moves on the Dow, if not 1,000-point moves on the Dow, if it felt there was something dramatic going on. If the New York-based brokerage communities felt something big was about to happen, good or bad or indifferent, but something big was going on, a change in policy that could affect every stock market in the world instantly, and it could affect the price of gold, oil, interest rates, treasuries, and every currency. It is just unbelievable, though, the sensitivity of it all and the immediacy of it all. So when I ask you, where are you watching me from around the world? I love to hear and see where you're at, and that you're here, and that you're watching me, and it's great. I just want to let you know that the most important meeting of the month is happening today and tomorrow. It's a 2-day meeting, and these guys and girls who get together hold the world's economy in their hand for 48 hours every month, and what they say could really be something. We will not hear what happened in that meeting for weeks, because it takes several weeks for this to be. They release what they call the minutes of the meeting, and that's kind of a redacted summary of what they talked about, and that is read with a fine-tooth comb by everyone as well. It's quite amazing. In what I didn't realize when I was a young and up and coming broker, but I quickly figured out within my first few months, was not only did the government of Canada, the Bank of Canada, for example, because again, I'm Canadian, the Bank of Canada in Ottawa, they were constantly watching the U.S. Federal Reserve. And believe me, Bank of Canada officials and the U.S. Federal Reserve, they talk to each other all the time. They have an open line between each other. They're very much in sync with each other as to where the other is sort of thinking. Occasionally there are little surprises, but generally Canada, USA, we're pretty tight. But the government of Canada people, there are employees in the offices of the Bank of Canada 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, always. Then I found out as a broker that every bank in Canada, the big five banks that we have in Canada that dominate our banking system, they have offices, of course, in every city in the country, but in Toronto, mainly, that's the headquarters for Canada's finance. Montreal has a little bit, but Toronto is majority. 24 hours, 7 days a week, there are bank employees on the upper floors who are monitoring the Bank of Canada. They're monitoring the Federal Reserve. They're monitoring the European Union Central Bank. They're monitoring China. They're monitoring Japan. They're monitoring the globe. And the banks themselves have branch offices in Washington, London, Frankfurt, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai, around the world. And they are staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For the banks, this is just the banks. Forget the country. The banks. You multiply that by every single national bank globally at the same time, to give you a perspective how huge this is. In the Cayman Islands, where I was, the little old Cayman Islands, 90 miles south of Cuba, an island at the time that I lived there with Jennifer and our daughter, we had about 35, 40,000 people living there. I think today there's about 65,000 people living there. Half the island, at least half the population, were non-Caymanian nationals. In other words, expatriates like me, imports. And in the Cayman Islands, in downtown Georgetown, which was maybe 20,000 people out of the 30 plus, 25,000 out of 35,000 at the time. In downtown Georgetown, there were what we call our office buildings that were anywhere from about 2 stories to 8 stories high, or 6 stories high. I think we had a limit of 6 stories because of hurricanes. You couldn't be over 6 floors high. And that allowed rescuers, in case it was necessary, to get up there 6 floors. Beyond 6 floors, they wouldn't allow. Too high. In any event, downtown Georgetown was littered with buildings all over the place that were built like fortresses. They were heavy foundational structures. They were like bunkers. I mean, serious stuff. And on top of the roofs were satellite dishes shooting up at space. And if you ever, had a drone overhead and flew over the downtown core, you would see satellite dishes everywhere pointing up from every building, because every building in downtown Georgetown had banks in it. So the Royal Bank of Canada was there, the Bank of Nova Scotia, Toronto Dominion, CIBC, all the Canadian boys were there. Chase Manhattan was there, Goldman Sachs was there, JP Morgan, all the American banks were there, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, the UK banks, they were all there. They all had branch offices in the Cayman Islands, and they were all pointed up at their satellites for constant communication from around the globe. And so London, England was in touch with the Cayman Islands, Washington, Toronto, Frankfurt, Beijing or Shanghai in China, Hong Kong, Tokyo, constantly in touch. The Bank of China was there. Every country's banks Every country national, they had an office, and they always have an office in the Cayman Islands, because the Cayman Islands were and still are I think the third or fourth largest global banking center in the world. And at the time I was down there, there were something like the quote was something like 500. What was it? God, it was the third largest banking center behind New York, uh, uh, Switzerland, then the Cayman Islands, and then after that it was London, Tokyo, Germany. Stunning. I mean, just stunning. I couldn't believe it when I was first going there to think about getting a job. But you quickly realize, oh my gosh, look at all these. Look at that lunchtime. Look at all these folks on the sidewalk going out for lunchtime who work here. Look at the workers going for lunch. They're going to the local, sandwich shop here, or going to this bakery over here, and it's guys and gals dressed as bankers. You got these gentlemen who work for Bank of so and so, and they've got a white shirt on, short sleeve, with a tie that's loosened up, slacks, and you can tell that there's suit jackets in the office. So when a client comes in, they put the jacket on. It's air conditioned in there. But when they're outside and it's hot and humid, they're walking out there with their white shirt on and the loosened tie to have a bite to eat. And you see two bankers over here and two or three over there, and the buddies from the office hanging out, and the secretaries coming and going, and all the assistants, the lawyers, the auditors, the insurance people. The white collar world of the Cayman Islands is unbelievable. It is you don't see them in 50-story towers, and that's why it's not so easily noticed, because they're all in these small 2, 3, and 4-story tall buildings that spread out all over Georgetown. And you can tell in the mornings and in the evenings when they come in and they go out what kind of cars they're driving, how well they're doing. These folks are not driving used Hyundai Sonatas. They're driving 1-year-old Benzes, and they're 6-month-old Beamers, and there's a really nice cars down there, and they live in very nice homes because they're very highly compensated professionals in charge of billions of dollars of assets. And coming back to the Canadian banking system, just to come back to the whole global thing. Back to Toronto, you have the downtown skyscrapers in Toronto that are 60, 70, 80 stories tall. And on the top 10 floors on each of them are all the bankers, top traders. And the traders up there are trading currencies, and they're trading bonds and treasury notes. And they are moving billions of dollars of money a second all over the place. And sometimes they have to unload American dollar T-bills to Chinese buyers that want them, or clients of theirs, or they've got clients in Indonesia. They need money to do a deal, or they have to convert currency into a certain currency to conclude a big contractual negotiation between 5 companies in 5 different countries, and they need one place to clear it all in. And all the money from each party, money in and money out, has to come in. It might all come in as US dollars and then go out in 5 currencies to each of them. It might be euros, it might be British pounds, it might be Swiss francs, could be pesos, it could be whatever. And you need places to do this. And Cayman Islands was one of those places where a wire would come in from China, a whole bunch of Chinese currency would come in, and it would be converted there into the settlement currency of the contract between 18 contractors that built a new bridge somewhere in China, $2 billion project, and the money comes in and it gets filtered out, and then out it goes. And each of the contractors has their own banker handling their currency, handling of the money. And so these bankers were, in some cases, there were Frankfurt-based bankers handling German companies' interests, London-based bankers handling the UK-based contractors, Canadian-based, US-based, Brazilian-based, wherever they were, to build these sophisticated, whatever they're building, infrastructure projects. And it all had to get settled out. And the lawyers had to sign off on everything, as did the auditors. And so you have dozens and dozens of people trying to settle out on a contract that is a multi-billion-dollar contract, and it had to be done right. It could only be done right once. And the customer buying this, it might be a government, and it might be a division of a government. It might be the transportation department of the Chinese government. Um, they needed to know that when the funds landed here, that they had their reps there to guard against it and make sure that when the dollars came out, that it went out to the right people for the right amount, for the right services, and everyone receiving their funds got what they were supposed to get for what the services were, and it all added out. Very complicated, and this was done in the Cayman Islands like this every time, just like that. You would see these guys at lunchtime, and they just finished a $200 million or $5 billion deal in the morning, and they're doing another one this afternoon, depending on the time zone around the world where all this is happening. And yet, in every office tower, in every financial center around the world, once deal is concluded and the money is now distributed out, these dollars have to be reconverted to other currency, because the contractor in Germany wants to get paid in euros, but they didn't get paid in euros; they got paid in Chinese yuan, and the Chinese yuan have to be converted to euros, so that the euros end up in the contractor's bank account that day, so that the contractor can now pay off their 50 guys that they owe money to, all the subcontractors they've got, which are all euro-based guys, probably in Germany, perhaps, or whatever it might be. Then you have the Brazilian contractor with their 50, and their 50 might be all over South America. And they've got to convert now to Bolivian currency, to Peruvian, to Venezuelan, to you name it. I mean, every country over there. So complicated. I mean, it just comes in one and goes out and then gets redistributed again. And these office towers around the world are constantly in touch with the other and throughout the planet to handle these dollar transactions, these yuan, these pounds, these euros. Incredibly complicated. And it's all invisible. It's all soundless. There are no smokestacks showing you how busy anyone is. These aren't factories. These are money factories, but it's all digital, and it's all instantaneous. And these kinds of transactions happen all the time, every week. We're talking trillions of dollars shifting through the world everywhere. And these bankers and these associates and advisors are on top of this all the time. And then there are the observers on the outside that are wondering, what effect will this have on our currency? Does this affect the Swedish kroner? Does this affect the euro? Does this affect the Canadian dollar versus the American dollar? Because if a lot of currency comes out of a country and that money lands into the market, that could deflate the value of that currency, because there's too much of that currency around for the market to absorb. And so the home country starts buying up its own currency with its own bank, and issues reserves that it has in other currencies to offset the increased amount of currency of their currency for the next 48 hours to adjust. And then they start taking currency back, and they drop currency out. Everyone monitors everyone else. And there are firms out there, banks and insurance companies and pension funds and hedge funds, especially hedge funds, ETFs and others, who specialize in the trading of currencies. And it is a no-brainer to buy $100 million of U.S. currency using this currency. And it's a no-brainer to offload 100 or 200, 150 billion in currency of this country for this currency. It is seamless. It is an absolute wide open market without any restriction. And these market makers of these currencies, they are specialists in their field, in their area. And they're constantly monitoring the pressure on the US dollar or on the Canadian dollar or on the British pound or on the euro, on everyone. And Canadian dollar is always wondering, the Canadian currency is always wondering, how are we doing against the American dollar? But also, how are we doing against the pound? How's Canada doing against the euro? Euro, same thing. The euro central banks are wondering, how are we doing against all the others? Everyone is doing this at the same time. And so there's a lot of constant adjustment going on, and everyone knows everyone else's adjustments that they need to do, and then they react. And it's not uncommon where a hedge fund might make a $100 million wager that they think that the euro is going to drop today against the US dollar, or going to drop against the US dollar in the next 5 minutes for whatever reason. And they take a short position on $500 million worth of euros, and they cover that position 5 minutes later, and they've eked out a $5 million gain on this gigantic transaction. And it happens all the time, and it happens every second all the time. And this is the world that is going on while we're sitting here talking about GameStop and AMC and Gore's Holdings, and we're thinking of going on a holiday on a cruise ship or flying to Europe maybe this summer or next summer or whatever. There are folks out there who are dealing with trillions of dollars of capital every second, every country around the world, back and forth all over the place. And this gigantic machine is going on, and all of them, all of those people right now, all of them, hundreds of thousands of them, at least, they're all watching the Federal Reserve today and tomorrow for the Fed meetings to get a hint of what do they think, because what they think matters, because they're talking about the world's dominant currency, the American dollar. And this is why the rest of the world really cares whether America is working or not. The rest of the world really cares whether America is going to do an infrastructure program. It really wants to know. If America is going to do an infrastructure program, a whole bunch of currency wagers are going to be made on the US dollar versus the euro versus the pound versus everything else. It's going to be unbelievable. When Biden talks about a multi-trillion-dollar program over the next decade, the world pays attention. Forget about politicians in Washington. The rest of the planet is watching very closely what these guys are doing to each other, what they're saying, and whether senators are on board or not, or whether there's a bipartisan deal or not, or whether there are crazies coming out of certain states or not. They want to know, and they know these people, and they watch these people, and they want to find out how influential these new crazy Congress people have, what kind of influence do they have on the party and on the population, and polls. They watch polls very carefully. Election time in the US is a nerve-wracking time around the world. It really is. Every 2 years, the planet quietly panics watching the Americans go to vote. It is really something. And in the meantime, those of us out there in the real world, we're just trying to get by, trying to make a go of it, trying to stay ahead of the bills, while the rest of the world frets, especially at these office towers in every global center around the world at the same time. And just want to give you a little opening as to kind of what's going on out there. And I'm only talking about currencies, bond trading. Then there are the international stock players, hedge funds around the world who are playing the markets. It's a big deal, and it means a lot to all of us in one way or another. Anyway, there you have it. Welcome to the show this morning. Hope you learned something a little more today as we keep watching this. I see a headline right here. UK unemployment rate drops again as British stocks open at the highest level since Feb 2020. Every banker in the world just read that. Every banker in the world wants to know that. Every policy analyst, every government official from every country in the world wants to know this. They want to know this. This is very important. The UK unemployment rate is at its lowest level, and the markets are at its height. They have to know this. They have to know. This is information that gets added in to the memory bank to understand the state of the planet. The UK unemployment rate drops again. That is good news. When it goes the opposite direction, that's bad news. This morning, we saw news coming out of Europe about a World Trade Organization dispute between the United States and the European Union with regard to aircraft tariffs. There was a 17-year dispute going on between the United States and Europe because of the battle for superiority of the manufacturing of airplanes between Boeing for the USA and Airbus, which is a bunch of European countries coming together, Germany, France, UK. There's a battle royale going on in the skies. The Boeing people want to be the dominant makers of jet aircraft. Airbus want to be the dominant producer of jet aircraft. We, as the public, want to go on safe airplanes around the world. We want to know that we get on an Air 380, an Airbus A380, or we get on a Boeing 747 or 777, we want to know that the aircraft have been fully maintained, inspected, or run properly, and will get us to where we want to go on time without incident. These companies, they want that too, but they also want to be sure that if they produce a 777 in Seattle against an Airbus, A350 in Marseille, France, these two aircraft, they cost so much to build. There's so much money you have to spend to build sophisticated machines like these. But neither country, the US and now the EU, want the other country to subsidize the cost of the plane unfairly, because if Boeing doesn't get US subsidies to build 777s and Airbus does to build A350s, that's an unlevel playing field. And so one complains to the other, or about the other, to the World Organization. And there could be tariffs in place. And of course, the disputes go back and forth all the time, because not only does Boeing and Airbus go at it, all the subcontractors of each outfit go at it too. And then the governments get involved. And it's a political football, because the President of the United States sure as heck can't have Boeing lose jobs due to unfair trading practices against Boeing because of what's going on in various countries around the world. Can't have that, because if that happens, the president gets blamed by the opposition party and could get unelected. Same thing in Europe, but the problem in Europe, you have 23 countries that are members of the EU, and each of the presidents and prime ministers are all concerned for their political necks regarding the Airbus situation, that they can't be seen to be losing out to Boeing because Boeing gets better deals or Airbus doesn't, regarding government subsidies and tax write-offs and everything else. Coming back to, let's come all the way back, Boeing thinking about opening a plant outside of Washington in another state. And you have 5 states going at it. And Airbus is sitting over there in Marseille going, this isn't fair. Boeing building a plane in Seattle, Washington, and Everett, that 777 should cost this much money to build. But building that same plane in South Carolina or North Carolina at the new plant they're building, because of all the tax breaks they were given, that plane costs less money to build in that state, in the same country. Boeing is getting government subsidies, and they are. Of course they are. They're getting property tax breaks. They're getting all kinds of write-off breaks. They're getting all kinds of tax holidays. And Airbus is going, that's subsidies. We're going to complain to the World Trade Organization, WTO. And the disputes go on. And this is the big game that's being played. We're talking about billions at stake on both sides every week, every month, every year, all the time. And you and I, all we want to do is, can you get me from Miami to New York for $300 return, or can't you? And I don't care what the plane is. I just want to fly from New York to Miami, or I want to fly from New York to France to go on a holiday or a business trip or whatever the reason I need to go there for. What's it going to cost me? What you don't realize is inside your airfare ticket are all of these dollars that are going to the airlines, which then go to the airline companies, the airline builders, to pay for the plane that you're on. And inside that, slivers of those dollars are going all over the place. Taxes to North Carolina, taxes to Washington State, taxes to Marseille, France, taxes to Paris, taxes to Berlin, taxes to London, England, because these companies who make these planes are owned and are controlled and are involved with governments around the world for subsidies and tax breaks and everything else. And it's not a simple system. But we, as the public, we just want to know, how much is the airplane ticket? Can I get a deal from Chicago to Frankfurt? Last year it was $900. This year it's $850. Yay! I saved $100 on my airfare. Do you care that number, that $850, is cut up into 1,000 slices and goes all over the place? Because it does. And how is it done? Through international banking. Where every office tower in every financial center in the world, including every currency you can possibly imagine. And that's just to buy a ticket to go from Chicago to Frankfurt, or Dallas to London, or London, New York, LA to Frankfurt, wherever you're flying, whether you're American, Canadian, European, Asian, it doesn't matter. There are dollars being divvied up into pennies. Every passenger, every plane, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it is trillions and trillions that are filtering out there. And 1/100th of a percentage point difference on a currency because of the movement of capital can make or break a hedge fund for one trade by $5 million like that. And it's happening all the time. Welcome to the world. 101 from Uncle Bruce. We're up 11 points on the pre-market on New York with 10 minutes to go before we start trading. We're up 0.8 of a point on S&P, and we're down 16 points on NASDAQ before we start trading publicly today on the market hours. Crude oil up 84 cents a barrel to 71.72. To me, I think crude is worth $45 a barrel. That's what I believe that's where it should be right now. Maybe 50, 45, 50. Let's give it a range. 45 to $50 is, in my opinion, the value of a barrel of oil. Unfortunately, and in realistic terms, it is trading at 71.74 US currency. Remember the currency game. 71.74 US currency right now because of a perception of increased demand by global human beings being more active, traveling and commuting again to work and traveling for holidays coming up. The anticipation of the buildup of the world economy as we get liberated from our homes and apartments is causing the futures market on oil to be at 71.76, when in reality, the world is drowning in oil. There is no shortage of oil anywhere except the odd third world country having political problems. But in the Western world, where most of the oil is consumed, there are no problems with the supply and demand. That pipeline problem in the States, that's all over now. It's all fine again. Every gas station has gas. There's no problem here. There is oil sloshing in Texas, Oklahoma, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. America is drowning in its own oil. It's the largest producer in the world. Canada is drowning in oil. Canada can't get its oil out fast enough to meet the demand that it can generate. Canada's drowning in its own oil. Europe has plenty of oil to get at and its own production as far as the North Sea is concerned. Russia is drowning in oil. They can produce that stuff for $10 a barrel. Saudi Arabia is completely drowning in its own oil. The OPEC countries have got tons and tons of this stuff. And yet it's 71.79 a barrel. It's a commodity that is not a rare commodity. These aren't diamonds, okay? These aren't gold bars, all right? The oil is pretty easy to get out of the ground and find these days. And vehicles and the Western world in general, we are on a per capita basis using less of it now. We are buying into this idea of reducing our carbon footprint and using less of this stuff if we can to be more efficient with it. And that's a good thing. Funny enough, the higher the price of the barrel goes, the less we use, because people go to their car dealer and they go, yeah, I'd like to get one of those cars with a big, fast V8 engine, but geez, at $4 a gallon, I don't know, maybe I'll get a supercharged V6 instead. Well, you just increased your fuel efficiency on average by 20%. You multiply that by millions of people a year, and you're using less gas and oil. You get cars converting into electricity. Theoretically, it does take energy to produce electricity, of course, but a lot more electricity every year is being produced by non-oil sources, bit by bit by bit by bit every year. It's an unstoppable force. And so, is oil going out of business? No, it's not going out of business. Will it be used a lot less going forward? Probably. Yeah, probably. And so the price is higher, but less is being consumed. This is bad news for governments, by the way. In a funny kind of way, governments depend on oil movement to make tremendous taxes. Canada is one of them. We in Canada, the country's GDP, it really gets a boost when oil prices go up and Canada moves a lot of oil around because we export a lot of this stuff. pays for our education systems and our governments and everything else. Oh, it does. Saudi Arabia is completely addicted to oil prices, obviously, as are many Mideast countries that produce oil. But governments around the world that don't produce oil are addicted. The UK is addicted to their taxes. The Germans, the French, the Italians, the Swiss. A gallon of gas in the Netherlands it's got nothing but taxes in it. I mean, whatever the price per liter you're paying, 80% of the price you're paying for a liter of fuel in many European countries is taxes. It's just taxes. And so they depend on the citizens of the country to buy gasoline. Problem is that when you do that, you burn it. The problem with that is that puts carbon in the air. So it's one of those, it's kind of a problem. How do we bring taxation in but reduce the global footprint at the same time? The eternal question. In any event, 71.74 is the price of a barrel of oil this morning, and it's too high. That's my opinion, but that's just a guy in crest. Welcome one, welcome all. We're almost open here. We're opening in about 4 or 5 minutes. We got Kramer and David. We got a guy from the Power Hour talking about Amazon. Right on. We're 26 points on the upside on the Dow, 1.8 points on S&P, and Nasdaq looks like a 16-point drop to start the day. Nothing. It's an unchanged market. It's as flat as a table. Everyone has got their breath is being held. They're holding their breath for 48 hours for the Fed meetings. That's what it's all about. And that's where we're at. Here's another headline you have to know if you're a broker. Retail sales fall in May as stimulus fades, but the U.S. economy is still primed for fast growth. Breaking news. Headline. That is important. That is really important news. I heard this morning that in China, problems are beginning to appear. There is an outbreak of the virus in certain regions of southern China where the world's third and fourth largest container shipping ports are located, and the average wait time for a container ship has gone from half a day to 16 days. And that means there are container ships coming in looking to offload containers and pick up containers, sitting for 16 days between the time they can go from the harbor to the port to get their stuff off and load it on and get out again. Huge backlogs, huge logistical problems, and this is going to affect economies around the world. Because if containers of goods are not arriving on time, this screws up forecasted earnings and sales forecasts for every retailer and every wholesaler and factories around the world. Because, of course, inside these containers are not only finished goods, but there are also parts for goods that must arrive at certain factories at certain times to complete the construction of whatever it is they're making. Is it a fridge, a stove, a dishwasher? Is it a barbecue set? Is it a picnic table? Is it lawn chairs? Is it an automobile? Are we talking about computer parts? Are we talking about anything you can imagine anywhere in your home or in offices and or in factories around the world? This is a problem that is beginning to percolate more and more and more. And in China's case, the story goes that only 10% of China has been vaccinated so far. Shocking to me that a government that controls everything you're supposed to think and feel can't get their act together with respect to their own inoculations. And maybe the problem could be they don't have a vaccine that's effective like North America has, like the G20. Maybe they are trying to develop their own vaccine and it's not working. They're not as effective as they are elsewhere, and they're holding back, trying to perfect their own vaccine. You're never going to get the truth of the Chinese government. They don't talk. They don't share with you their books. You can't look into their system. It's all secretive. It's run by 5 guys. I mean, the Chinese government is a closed shop, and there is no appeal. There's nowhere to go, and don't dare complain to these guys. And so the world is going, ¿Qué pasa? What's going on with you guys? What's your problem? Canada is at 75% vaccinated for the first shot and is pushing for 80 later this month. China at 10? What's going on? And they're now talking about massive lockdowns of Chinese cities all over again. we thought they had this problem solved. At least they were leading us to believe that they were ahead of the world with regards to no problems here. All of a sudden, China's got this issue. They're only the second largest economy on the planet, and they're having issues. This could affect all kinds of businesses around the world. Now, could this create a stock market problem? To a degree, it could create issues where certain companies might come out and say, we're not going to reach our objectives because we have supply chains issues. Ford is talking about their problems, computer chips, as is GM, as is Tesla in the automotive sector. We know all about it. We know about it in other areas. How far is this going to go and how deep? That is what we're watching for. And it tells me interest rates aren't going up anytime soon. Because if we have supply chain problems going on, we're not going to get higher interest rates. Not going to happen. Another headline, wholesale prices jump again in May, PPI shows, and add to rising U.S. inflation. There's that. We've got headlines coming out that we have to pay attention to. And believe me, over at the Fed, they're watching these headlines as well. They probably get them first before we do. Let's take a look at the markets right now. We are open for trading. And let's get started. SoFi looks like it's at 21.68 to start the day, down 14 cents on 90,000 shares. GameStop 227, down 218 a share on 141,000 shares. Very quiet opening. Fortress FAII up 3 cents to 9.98. Today is Fortress Shareholder Vote Day. It's the 15th of June. It's Fortress Day. Oh, I can't wait for this to be done. AMC is up 2.30 a share to 59.22. On 11 million shares to start. To try to get there's a vibe that the stock will break 60 going on out there. We're at 59.22 now. Gore's Holdings down 13 cents to 15.26 on 7,800 shares. Absolute dead quiet right now. VGAC is sitting at 11.47 right now, unchanged for the morning on 59,000 shares. Those shares were up 20, 30 cents all morning in the pre-market, from what I remember, what I recall watching. But at the moment, 11.45, down 2 pennies, so nothing much going on at this second for the opening. Fifth Wall is up a nickel to 11.55. VACQ, that's Vector Acquisition, up 28 cents to 10.52 to open the day on 83,000 shares. We are waiting for them to also announce their shareholder vote. We're waiting for that meeting. When will it happen? NAFSite at 9.98, nothing going on 100,000 shares so far. Starboard Value 10.06, up a penny on 1,000 shares, nothing going on. And that's where we're at right now. The Dow's up 1.5 points to start the morning, and our friends at S&P are down 2.5 points, and NASDAQ down 43. That's what we got right now, waiting for and watching for the Fed minutes and other headlines breaking around the world regarding the economy of the world as we continue forward. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you're having a good morning. I hope you're going to have a good day today. Anyone have any questions, just let me know, and we'll see what's going on. China, 100% lockdown Wuhan, which is actually a larger city than New York. That was wild. Yes, absolutely incredible. Let's see here. Other comments. Never did I spend $25 on a burger so fast, says D. Gray. Let's go. Sorry, I'm done listening to the virus propaganda. Goodbye, Bruce. Okay, yeah, virus. Yeah, I'm making this up. I'm just making this up. You know how I am. I just love making up this kind of stuff. What can I say? Some people just can't handle certain things. It's all right. It's okay. Uncle Bruce said SoFi. Oh my gosh. And now for something completely different. Stocks. What's happening with the stocks? How many vaccines are we allowed to get? Let's go. What else is going on? AMC right now, 59.29. There you have it. What else is happening here? Number of comments going through here. NSH calls for November up 265%. Thanks for the tip, Bruce. I'm still surprised SoFi stuck at 22. 21.34 is where it's at, down 48 cents. Bruce got the flashing light out, scaring off the roaches. Got a feeling about AMC, says D. Gray. Truthin' with Bruce. It isn't made up, but it is by definition propaganda. I didn't hear about China shutting down again. Interesting. Uncle Bruce had to sell my VGAC calls last week. Needed money. I placed 7 more at 15. Expire 716. What do you think? Yeah, 716 at 15. We are waiting for Thursday, day after tomorrow. VGAC starts trading as 23andMe. That's happening. VGAC right now down a dime at 11.37. Gores down 12 cents to 15.27. AMC 59.80, just about at $60. FAII up 9 cents now to 10.04. GameStop 225 down or 225.84 down 360. SoFi 21.50 down 32 cents. That's where we are right now this morning. Welcome all of you. I also stick my head in the sand when I hear news I don't like. Chris, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's see. Here we go. Time is anytime Bruce starts asking anyone to chime in from around the world, it's going to get real. Let's see. Both is better. At least there's no pancake propaganda going on. There you go. You can't handle the truth, says Jimmy. SoFi 21.34. Get it while it's cheap. 21.62. It's not cheap anymore. It's coming back. This virus made things get real fast. 548 thumbs ups. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. Vic, Bruce, you might have answered in the past, but why do we refer to S&P, NASDAQ, etc. as points and not dollars? Just an industry thing or actually some method to the verbiage? Yeah, points. Yeah, it's not a dollar value. It's an indicator. It's kind of like, Fahrenheit, Celsius. It tells us, someone says it's 95 degrees out, and we go, oh, that's hot, right? We that's how we relate to it. We see the Dow up 150 points. That's good. We're down 150 points. Oh, that's bad. It's just an indicator, just a temperature taker, I guess. I guess that's it. AMC through 60. Yep, 60.08 right now. There it is. It broke 60. We're watching that. That could affect GameStop, of course, because the meme thing, and it could affect all other meme stocks because, again, meme stocks are being highlighted from time to time, and, things sometimes that's what's going on. Bed Bath & Beyond is down 48 cents, though. It's not getting a run from meme stocks at the moment. BlackBerry down a quarter to 13.80, and so far it hasn't got any kind of a bump. AMC seems to be on its own at the moment. AMC's up 3.05 to 60.05. GameStop 224.12 right now. VGAC 11.35 down 12 cents. Yep, that's where we are right now. All right. Yoko was propaganda. There you go. Those damn pancakes. IHOP spilling out that pancake propaganda. Meanwhile, Waffle House gets to airtime. Waffle Lives Matter. There you go. Eddie R. Could this Friday be a pivot point for SoFi? I mean, anything is always possible, but probability could be a little higher. I don't know. You're talking about the triple witching hour thing. I don't know if that's going to have much of an effect. Hard to say. 21.42, by the way, on SoFi. It's really jumping here. It's now been between 21.22 and 21.68 in the first 5 minutes. 260,000 volume, though, very quiet so far on SoFi. But again, my opinion on it, this stock is a $30 stock in actual value, in a business enterprise value point of view. So the stock is well below where it should be. I believe it's got a short position going on, and it's possible there are shorters still accumulating and still assembling a larger short position. It's possible it isn't, but you never know. But I get the impression that SoFi, when it breaks, it will really go. And this is a spring that's being, like a bow and arrow being pulled back right now. And 21.43 down 39 cents. This is a bad day, down 39 cents. Okay. Give me a bad day of down 39 cents. When this goes the other direction, it can jump $2 in one day, no problem at all. We've seen it before. I think we're going to see it again often. But you have to wait out the slow days and everything in between. AMC back to 59.12. So it got its 60 print, but can it hold it? That is the proverbial question right now. Here we go. Reading headlines on and go. Was it long? Being an opinion about them is not propaganda. I don't always agree with them, but throwing a tantrum when you don't like what he says is childish and a waste of time. There you go. Throwing a tantrum. I agree. I agree. I have always wanted to hear all points of view. As a centrist, as a guy that was, in charge of 25 brokers who are all opinionated with their, in their world, my staff, the offices we were connected to, head office. I wanted to hear what everyone had to say. And then I would determine for myself the direction I would go, trying to keep level headed the whole time I'm listening to people's opinions and thoughts and whatever. And sometimes you agree and sometimes you don't, but you just got to go, hey, I can get along with you even if we don't agree on some stuff. It's okay. We're allowed to differ. That is what the essence of democracy is all about. We're allowed to differ, and without having to throw the guns at each other. It's great. Give me your point of view. I'll give you mine. And we agree to disagree. It's okay. It's all right. We move forward. Time will make one of us correct or not. But by the time we figure out down the road that one of us was right or wrong a year ago, what does it matter? We're here now. What's happening the next year? And it's funny how there are times where in the past, in my career, there were times where I agreed with people, I disagreed with people, then agreed with them again, and then disagreed with them again. It varies all the time because that's the human condition. That is the world in which we live. It's constantly in flux. It's never the same. It never will be the same. It's always changing. But what can I say? I want to know about the conspiracy that keeps me from finding onion bagels. That's what I want to know. What is this all about? This just in: pancakes have surpassed waffles and breakfast meal carbs. Now, these are breaking stories you guys need to be aware of, obviously. What can I say? Are there any bagel stocks to invest in long term? Why are all the banks in the Cayman Islands? Because there are no taxes. There are no taxes on transactions. There are no transactional taxes. So you can move capital in and out without any government interference. The government has figured out that, you know what? We're not going to charge taxes on 500 million coming in to 500 million going out in 13 other currencies. We're not going to in the middle of that. We're not going to get in the middle of that stuff. What we will do is we will collect money as a government, and we will benefit as a society here by allowing the banks to open up their shops here, bringing in their people, their families and wives and children. They will buy cars, real estate. They will spend money on groceries. They will go out to eat. Friends of theirs will come around the world to visit them to see what it's like where you live. Our tourism business will dramatically run up because it's such a stable country with which to come and visit. There are no panhandlers on the beach. There's no unemployment. We are fully employed. We have no need for social programs to bail out unemployed people. We don't have unemployed people. And so we collect very little in taxation. The taxation we collect are on imports. So when these banks open up their offices and they import an office desk, we get a 20% import fee on that desk. And they bring in the office chair, we get a percentage on that. And it's not the bank bringing in the desk. The desk is brought in by office supply companies in the island, and then they sell these pieces of furniture to the banks. And those are the guys who are importing and paying the fees. And the bankers know that they're paying a fee to be here. It's not cheap to be in the Cayman Islands. From an operational point of view, it's expensive. But from a taxation point of view, handling trillions of dollars of money every week, every month, it's incredibly cheap. And so the bankers are going, we'd rather have all of us here and everyone else is here, so we have to be here. We love this environment. This is an open environment, and it's a tax-free environment, and we as bankers can do what we do without interference and oversight with respect to closing this contract. Banks are not in the business in the Cayman Islands of trying to illegally launder money. That's not what they're there for. They don't need that business. They don't need to deal with Escobar from wherever to handle cocaine money. That is chump change. These guys are in the business of moving trillions of dollars between governments and between corporate entities globally to settle and work close out contracts here in one central place. The lawyers are here, the auditors are here, and the bankers are here. And we can get it all done in one locale at the same time, all through through high-speed internet connections secured. And we now are interconnected with the world currency market, all of them, all the currency markets, right from this little island instantaneously. And the communication system of the Cayman Islands, the actual ability to handle the inflow and outflow of data is second to none. It's as good as Switzerland. It's good. It's as good as the USA. It's just as high quality. There are juicy jobs down in the Cayman Islands for people who can handle software, programmers, IT professionals. There are IT positions in the Cayman Islands that pay really good money because these banks do not have downtime. They have fail-safe backup systems. There is no such thing as downtime with respect to any of the banks down there. The providers of software and of security, the anti-hacking people in the Cayman Islands, unbelievable talented, the best in the world, top-notch paying jobs, and the government benefits. The society of the Cayman Islands benefits dramatically because these folks are not they're not poor. They don't need to knock off the local grocery store to make a couple of bucks and make the bills pay. They're very well compensated, and so they're spending money on their personal lives down there. Some of them have, boats. Some of them have beautiful condos. They have very nice automobiles. They have to insure them. They have to maintain them. They have to keep the gas going. This spin-off of the economy is incredible. Just like Boeing will promise, a local government will say, we'll open up a plant in your area, which will create 55,000 spin-off jobs. We'll hire 25,000 people, but you'll get 55,000 more jobs because we eat pizza. We like going out for Chinese food. We like seeing the movies. We like to buy shoes. We like to buy clothing. We need cars. We insure the cars. We get our cars maintained. All of your businesses around here will benefit because we're putting 25,000 jobs in this plant in your area. That's why you're giving us a big fat tax break. And it's the spin-off effect. Well, the Cayman Islands has the spin-off effect from the banking sector. It is incredible. And if you ever go there as a 1-week tourist, not a 6-hour tourist on a cruise ship, but a 1-week tourist, and you hang out for a week at the Ritz-Carlton or the Westin Hotel or the Marriott on the beach, and you rent a car and you drive around the island, kind of look around a little bit, you kind of go, wow, look at these neighborhoods. Look at where these expatriates live. Look at where the Caymanians live. There are middle-class Caymanians, upper middle-class Caymanians, and very, very upper-class everyone else in every nationality, not only Caymanian, but non-Caymanian. And you'll drive around going, oh, those are $5 million homes over there. Those are $2 million homes over there. Look at these folks. Whoa, there's money down here. That's when it hits you. You realize, holy crap, no wonder people love working down here. Now I get it. I get this whole thing about the Cayman Islands and the offshore banking thing. This is huge. This is trillions. Now you get it. That's why there's no income tax down there. The government doesn't need to charge income tax. They make it on import fees. Everything, even toilet paper has to be imported into the Cayman Islands. Certain things do not get taxed for imports. Milk, bread, toilet paper do not get taxed. It's essentials of life. But everything else does. And so, yeah, you bring in a BMW from Florida, yeah, there's a 10, 20% tax on that vehicle. You betcha. Yeah, there is. But those who bring it in are going, yeah, but I don't pay 40% in income tax. So I don't mind buying that Beamer for 80 grand when it would cost 60 grand in Miami. It cost me 80 grand here. I make 300,000 a year. I get 300,000 a year in my hands. And so I spend 20 grand on that car. I only buy that car once every 5 years. So, hey, I'll pay the 20,000 extra. And if I sell this car after 2 years to somebody else, I can get 65,000 for it because to replace that car is $80,000, $90,000. So the depreciation rate is all relative. And the folks who are, turning over their vehicles or other goods, they benefit from the taxes, actually, the import taxes, by when they resell the car to somebody else on the island. There's all of that going on. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world, and it is a huge business. It's massive. Anyway, welcome all. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you're having a good morning. Let's see how the markets do this morning. Hopefully, some of you are going to get much, much richer today. Let's see what's going on. If I own 500 shares of a company, do you think writing 4 contracts that expire week after week out of the money and just collect the premium without being taken out Or is it good to write in the money contracts? I like your first scenario. Erico, I like your first scenario. You're writing out of the money contracts and bringing in money every week, bringing in money, bringing in money, bringing in money. It adds up. It adds up and it adds up. Absolutely. Way to go. Thank you. Let's go. Those ship container workers in China probably just make more money on unemployment. Some Americans probably, I don't know about how that works there, but I can imagine that getting unemployment versus working full time, you got to think you're making more money working full time. But if you're restricted to your home because of the virus, you're restricted, and that's the end of that. What can I say? AMC right now is at $59 and GameStop $223. SoFi $21.31, FAII $9.96, scores at $15.35, and VGAC $11.14 right now. That's what we got. Let's see. I find the one Canadian with a Yoko LP. Just my luck. When GameStop moves into the Russell 1000, is it possible for the new ETFs it joins to be shorted? Is it possible? Well, if it becomes a part of the 100, then ETFs are going to need to buy GameStop stock to add it to their index. So there'll be a demand for the paper as they add it in. Now, if anyone wants to short GameStop or short the ETFs because it's there, they can try and do that, but it's probably a saw-off, or it might even be a net gain for GameStop. We'll see what's going on. Is it possible that SoFi is being held until June expiration to kill short-dated options before being allowed to run? I don't know, Iceman. Everybody has a guess on this. Good morning, y'all. I just put up some Gores 2250 calls expiring March 22 for $2 US. I just put up some. Did you just buy them or are you selling them? I'm not sure if you're writing or you're buying. Help me out here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Hey, all points of view are the way to go. Way to keep an open mind, Brewster. Pancakes are just lazy waffles, apparently. And Bruce, love these morning learning sessions. Bill, thank you, Bill. Thanks for Uncle Bruce for your reflections on SoFi. I really have it letting it build up at its pace and mode, especially with short significance still around it. Let's see. What can I say? Let's see. Yeah, it's funny how you use one word and people go crazy. What can I say? The world is the world. Uncle Bruce lit the fuse. SoFi 21.16 right now. Let's see. Let's go. Bill, you're an opportunity hater. We take Niagara Falls at dusk. Let's see. I'm holding SoFi. It's worth 30 to me at the very least. Let's see. Let's go. What is happening? Long on SoFi. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Thank you for your commentary today. Let's see what we have here. Let's go. Where are we at on AMC? 58.90 now. Okay. Bruce stores his best bagels in Switzerland. Continuing through, looking at the comments, a lot of people talking to each other. It's all good. Daniel is saying, Uncle Bruce, I'm boondocking in southern Utah. Do you know what that means, boondocking? If you don't know what that means, it means you're in an RV and you are on land where you're not paying anything to be there. You might be on federal land. You might be in a public area where you're allowed to hang out for 24 hours at a time, 2 days at a time, and so it's cheap. You're living on the cheap here. I'm in southern Utah while with LTE service. My $15,000 investment just cleared the bank. Mountain Daylight Time Zone is cramping my style. It's almost 8 a.m. and it's still pre-market. Desert mesas, though. There you go. You got the view. You've got the peace and quiet. You've got the isolation. You're connected to the world through your internet, and you're in your RV and watching the world and trading. And hey, more power to you. Way to go. Absolutely, way to go. Let's see here. What's going on? I got it. You can work anywhere in the world, mate. I'm in cybersecurity too, and our industry is negative unemployment. That's true. It's true. There you go. VGAC options taking a hit today. Hopefully just an off day. VGAC 1114 down 32 cents on the stock this morning. Let's hope. Let's see what's going on here. Coyote Bill, you're right. I've been working remotely since 2017. This is really nice. I really like it. Let's go here. Going through here, comments. Thank you, all of you, for following me this morning, hanging around. Appreciate it. We've got the Dow down 130, the low of the day right now. We have S&P down 5. We have NASDAQ down 12. Oil is up $1.08 to $71.96 a barrel. So we got this market right now. We have GameStop at $222.90. GameStop shares. Here we go. The low of the day, $221.56. So we're nearer the low than the high. The high of $229, which was the actual opening this morning. We're down $6.98 on GameStop shares. Volume on GameStop right now is 854,000. SoFi 21.17. The low of the day, 21.02, so we're closer to the low than the high. We're down 70 cents at 21.12 at this moment. 663,000 shares traded SoFi on SoFi. It's on sale. Fortress Value, FAII, sitting at $9.94 right now, down a penny. A low of the day. Today is shareholder vote day. 88,000 traded at the moment. The vote will be later today. We're waiting for that to go through. AMC 58.53, up $1.50 or so. Gores 15.25, down 14 cents. VGAC 11.06, down 41 cents. Fifth Wall Acquisition 11.40, down a dime. Vector Acquisition up 20 cents to 10.42. NavSite unchanged at $9.98. Starboard at $10.05, unchanged. And other than that, Vanek Vectors up 51 cents to $255.39. Home Depot down $3.64 to $305.60. International Business Machine down 90 cents at $149.13. The Dow down 120 points. Microsoft down 63 cents. Apple down 27 cents. Tesla down $5. If this is a sell-off, it is light. It really light. The Bed Bath & Beyond down 16 cents at $30 even. BlackBerry is actually up 6 cents now to $14.12. It's turned around. On the cruise front, Royal Caribbean 88.54 now, up 59 cents this morning. Norwegian is up 49 cents. Carnival up 36. Royal Caribbean announced this morning another bond offering. $650 million in bond offering. This will allow them to buy out and roll over an old bond issue that is coming up for maturity. And I think it's less than $650 million, but they're going to raise $650, roll over the old bond into a new bond. It's all junk bonds now for Royal, and they'll have some extra capital they'll just put in the bank. Keep on going. They're trying to get up and running again with cruise ships. They're sailing, bit by bit here going forward. Amazon up $1.64. Facebook up $1.42. That's a record highs for Facebook. Google down $4. Target down $1. JP Morgan down $2.50. Costco down $1.84. These are fractional changes today. Walmart down 63 cents. Cisco down 4 cents. Nvidia down 259. Goldman Sachs down $1.46. There is nothing going on in a big way here on these particular markets. We've got Boeing up 78 cents on the possible resolution of these tariffs between Airbus and Boeing, and with Biden in Europe trying to calm everybody down. They're trying to get through these world trade disputes and get through it all. Intel is up 7 cents this morning. Micron is up $2.39 a share today for that computer chip manufacturer. That's pretty good. Other than that, there isn't much really happening. As I said, the Dow now down 115. It was down to 130 a few minutes ago. SoFi at 21.13, down 69 cents. GameStop 225.89. That's a little better now. That has popped up from the 221 range now to 225.80. So that's a $4 gain. 226 on GameStop now, popping up again. And AMC 59.55, taking another shot at trying to get through $60. There's where we're at right now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning as we watch these markets begin the day. And what can I say? SoFi 21.19, near the low of the day, down 63 cents. Those of you who haven't been able to get your stock or contracts at a decent price, you might be being offered it now. Keep an eye on that. Let's see here. Iceman is asking Uncle Bruce a follow-up question. Since you have the experience, is it even a real thing that stocks will be held at certain levels to kill the options market for a specific expiry date? Or is that just folklore? That would be rather difficult. To hold a stock at a certain level means that you are battling the entire stock market around you. And nowadays, traders, hedge funds in particular, are so sophisticated. They can tell if a stock is being held at a certain level or being manipulated in a certain way. And they can put two and two together. They figure out, oh, look at that. Certain stocks being kept under a certain price because these call options are expiring today or tomorrow. And if the shares are kept at this level or below, those contracts will die out. And they'll put two and two together and going, oh, yeah, the guys who are keeping that stock down over there are the same guys that wrote 1,000 call options on this stock a week ago at $8 a share. And they're trying to get that down to zero. Or they're holding the stock down here, and that contract is slipping and slipping and slipping, and they're the guys who are probably going to buy that contract back between $1 and $2 a pop to cash in on that $8 sale that they made. There's a lot of speculation going on, and a lot of spying going on, awareness going on, who's doing what. And it could well be that another hedge fund is watching this and has put two and two together and going, oh, I know who that is. Look what they're doing to that stock down there. And what those guys are doing is that they're buying call contracts for the next week. They're going long on depressed contracts because, of course, if a stock is held down, contracts are held down. And so you get other funds buying contracts long. So as soon as that buy program and sell program is over with, the stock is sort of let go. The shares could run up a little bit, and these outsiders are making all kinds of money on call options that they have bought all over the place at various strike prices and various expiry dates, and they're all cashing in, $1 here, $2 here on all these different contracts to the tune of thousands of contracts. So to play that game could theoretically happen, but to actually pull it off may require many more billions than you have. You certainly can't do it on Apple. You can't control a market like Microsoft. But you could play around with SoFi right now. You could play around with Gore's Holdings right now. You could play around with VGAC. But certainly you could play around, if you have enough billions, you could play around and pull off some shenanigans on smaller capitalized corporations. But on big, heavy trading markets, you might not be able to pull it off, and you could get burned badly. So it's possible. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. There you go. Let's go here. Waffles are pancakes with abs. That's All righty. Let's go. I noticed that you often recommend at the money or slightly out of the money contracts. What are the downsides of buying deeper in the money contracts? Well, okay, if you're trying to buy, you think a stock's going up, it's going to go up in value because of certain factors, all right? SoFi. You believe in the long-term viability of SoFi. You're going to buy contracts for next January in SoFi to give yourself this 8-month window so that these, daily transactions we see right now, these 60-cent ups and downs don't knock you off course long term. Okay. Why would you buy a $15 SoFi, and what's the plus and minus about doing something like that? If you're going to buy a $15 call contract on SoFi, you're $6.20 in the money right now. That contract might be $8, just guessing. I could be wrong, but let's say it's $8 for January. The smart move is you're spending $800 or so to control 100 shares rather than $2,100 to buy 100 shares, right? With 800 shares, or with $800, getting 100 shares, if the shares go up to 30, that $15 call contract is now 15 in the money plus time premium. It might be a $16 contract. You're buying it for 8, you doubled your money. Now, if you buy the stock for $2,100 and the stock goes to 30, you've made $9 on your stock. So it's a 45% return, whereas on the contract, you've made a 100% return. So from a making money point of view, the leverage factor is pretty darn good. Now, you buy 100 call contracts at $15 a contract on SoFi for January, you're dropping some money at $800 a contract, right? It's $80,000 for 100 contracts at $8 a pop. It's $8 a share. Okay. What's the downside? Well, the only downside is if the shares do not perform. If they sit at $15 to $20 all the way for the next 8 months, they don't do anything for you, and they get, they don't go much higher than 22, and they go down to the 15 range. You're in the money somewhere along the road here, but you're not making any money on your investment. Well, that's the same if you bought the stock at 21. If it sits between 15 and 21 a share, you're not making any money. The good side, I guess, is by next January, the shares don't expire. You still have them. Whereas if you have the call contracts, they do expire in January. And if the shares are sitting at $17 next January, your contracts are only worth $2. You've lost 3/4 of your money. You bought at 8, they're worth 2, you lost money. But this is assuming that between now and next January, these shares will never, ever go up higher than where they are right now. If the shares reach 25, they don't go to 30, but they get to 25, even as a call buyer with a $15 exercise price, you have a $10 book value contract plus $1 or $2 of premium. You got a $10, $11, $12 contract, you paid 8 for it. So you're still up upwards of 50%. So the stock doesn't have to do much for you to make any money. As a matter of fact, for every dollar the stock does go up from here, about 80 to 90 cents of each of those dollars will flow to your contract value. Because every dollar the stock goes up is $1 more your call is in the money. The catch of it is that you can't make 10 times your money on a $10 move on SoFi. If it goes to 30, you're up double your money, but not 10 times your money. So you're not going to get the leverage that maybe an out of the money contract could afford you. The catch of it is if you're going to buy a $30 call contract for next January, you might be paying $3 for it, $3.50 for it. That's expensive for a contract that is nowhere near the money, except for the fact that if the shares in the next 2 months were to go to the 30 range, those contracts will immediately double in value. But from 30 to 35, this contract of yours might go up into the $8, $9 level, and you might be up 4 times your money. Now the leverage is coming into you. And there's the proverbial, well, I don't have $800. I only have $500. So I'm going to buy 1 contract or maybe 2 contracts in SoFi, and I'll buy two $2.50 contracts that happen to be 32.50s or 35s. Maybe I can get 4 37.50s. Maybe I can get 5 $40 contracts at pennies a contract. There are gamblers out there who will buy way out of the money calls, thinking SoFi is going to 100 a share between now and next January. It's going to 100. I'll buy $40 calls right now, and if I can get them for $1 a piece for $500, I got 500 shares. If this stock goes to 60 and I'm wrong, it doesn't go to 100, it just goes to 60. I have a $40 call. They're $20 each. Minimum book value. I paid $1 for them. I made 20 times my money. 20 times your money on $500, 10 grand. I don't have 2,000 to spend on the contracts. I've got $500, but I can turn 500 into 10,000 if I'm right. There's the leverage factor, but it's gamble. Now, you bought the $15 call, the stock goes to 60, you're still in this thing. You got a $45 call contract. You're 45 in the money. So you paid 8 to get in, and you're now at 45. You're up 5.5, 6 times your money. You too have done well, but the other guy has done more well. They've gone from $1 to $40, so 40 times their money, sure. But look at the gamble they took to do it, where you didn't gamble as much. You didn't gamble at all. You bought an in-the-money contract with a small premium on it. There you go. Okay, there's your two areas to consider. What is your risk tolerance level, I guess, right? If I could read the whole internet, I wouldn't be here. Here we go. Matterport appoints Google Cloud executive as vice president of solutions engineering. These guys at Matterport are doing everything right. I just can't wait for them to take over Gore's Holdings. It's right now $15.20 a share, down 19 cents. Gore's Holdings trading at near its low of $15.14 today. And we're waiting for the Gore's shareholder meeting to be called so that Matterport can take over Gore's and become tradable. In the meantime, Matterport is doing stuff like this. Very good. Yes, here we go. Let's say I own a few hundred shares of FWAA with 0 contracts available. Does that mean I'm also unable to write calls? That's correct. There is no option market yet. There's no option market yet for this stock. It could be that there will be one in the next week or 2 or 3 created. It's very likely there will be one created. I can't tell you the day though, but there will be options tradable on all of these specs. You can count on it. And when they are, that is the time where you can either buy call contracts or put contracts, or you could write call contracts or put contracts against these shares. As soon as there's an option market, you can do whatever you want. And it'll be its own market, Chicago Mercantile, most likely, and they will track the stocks. Yes, absolutely. We are waiting for those contracts to be created. All right. I missed the drama. What did Bruce say? That gives me an idea. I said all kinds of stuff. Talked about the Cayman Islands. I talked about banking. Stuff? I'm saying stuff. And some people
Canadian banks are up today.
Canadian banks are up today.
No good reason.
I don't know. They're just up there.
Canada didn't say anything lately.
There you go. I just talked about the currency markets today and the bond markets, and I talked about the Cayman Islands, and I talked about central banks, and I talked about how the Fed is having their meeting the next 2 days, and I talked about how things can affect other things, and some people felt that I was spreading conspiracy theories. It's news to me. I'm just commenting on the world at large that I'm familiar with in plain English, and some people can't handle plain English. That's the problem. They don't like my plain English. They don't like it, and they want to hear their plain English. They want to hear plain English that they like to hear, not plain English that I'm, bringing out. So, as usual, I can't make everybody happy at the same time. As usual, even my own members, I can't make my own members all be happy at the same time and all say the same. Yes, there are Yoko lovers and there are Yoko haters.
See?
And that's what's going on. And speaking of Yoko lovers and haters, how are we for thumbs up? We have 715 thumbs ups.
There you go.
But I got 55 thumbs downs.
Oh, there you go.
I got those who don't agree with what I say or think, but and they want to make it known on this channel that they don't agree with me.
They don't have to agree with you.
They don't have to. No, they don't. They don't, and that's the best part about being a member of this channel. You don't have to agree with the host.
Independent thought.
We have independent thought, and we follow our thing, and we like what we like, and we don't like what we don't like.
Did you tell him it's dreary and raining here today?
I mentioned at the beginning of the show just how crazy it is, and I asked everybody who was watching at the beginning today. I said to them, "Do me a favor and tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me what city you're from, and not necessarily that, but just tell me what city you're, because I wanted to show the channel just how global this channel is." Yeah. And in came everybody from around the world, including someone commenting, "There's a real lightning storm happening here in Bonners Ferry." Oh, yeah. And I mentioned that's 20 miles south of me in Idaho. That we've got the same show here. Right. We are sharing this together.
We had our light show last night at about 1 a.m.
Did we ever?
And this morning, if you go about an hour and a half east of us, they just got nailed. Nickel-sized hail, very strong winds, all that good
big
stuff.
Time. Yeah. Really big time.
They got nailed.
So we talked about that, and then we've been covering our options, our stocks, and we're noticing how SoFi is down again today, and we think it's another dip. At least I do. 2103. It just hit a low of 2082 a few minutes ago. Ooh. 2101 right now. It's jumping around. This is an opportunity to get in. Anyway, thank you for popping by. I love to get a bagel. I'm thinking a scrambled egg today.
Is it egg today?
Yeah. Scrambled egg with some cheese.
Did you tell them what's going to happen this afternoon?
Well, we get our shots.
We get our second shot. Yay!
We're
fully
looking
good by the end of the month.
We're looking forward to getting this out of the way.
Yes.
We know we have to do it. We want to get it done and be done with it. Yes, please. And
I'd like to see my daughter not on Zoom.
Yes, we'd like to see our daughter, but not necessarily on Zoom all the time. Yes, if we could see her rather than on FaceTime, yes. If we could see her in person, that would be kind of nice.
Mommy needs to smell her head.
Mommy needs to smell daughter's head.
It's not creepy.
And I think daughter needs to smell mommy's chest.
Is that it?
Yep. And then daughter needs to smell daddy's.
Yeah.
Up somewhere around here because she's tiny. Well, I'm only 4'8". Can you imagine how small she is? What can I say?
I'll go get you a bagel.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Jen, so much. Yay. I will survive. An energy boost is coming my way. We've got the Dow down 126 points. We're kind of scraping along here at the low level of the day, I guess. S&P is down 6.9. NASDAQ is down 48. That's what we got. Not much to get excited about. SoFi has hit a low of 2082, I believe. It is now 2090. That's where SoFi is right now, down 92 cents on 1.1 million shares. I believe SoFi is being attacked by short sellers. And some of you out there know what that's like, and you know how this game works. And those of you who are SoFi fans like I am, what you do then is you take a look at dips, and you take advantage of dips to either get the stock super cheap, or you take advantage of the options if you can get options super cheap. Anyway, there you have it. And that's where we're at. What can I say? Bruce didn't light the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Anyway, apparently there's some kind of a fake virus or something that Bruce is talking about. Neil, have you got any light bulbs? Bruce, SoFi, January or February calls, which would you recommend? Which would you suggest? The difference isn't so much now. That's 8 or 9 months difference. Take a look at pricing and just look for the best deal you can get on the contract you want. Maybe it's the February contracts that give you the best pricing or the best bid spread between bid and asks, or it's January's. Take a look for any other further outs, because as we go along, there will be contracts going further out. So keep an eye. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Thank you, everybody. Here we go. Kyle, not much drama. Just some people are very passionate about COVID talk. Anyone think GameStop has already sold the 5 million shares into the market? I don't know. I'm hoping they have not. I'm really hoping they haven't sold any shares yet. I'm hoping that nothing happens till after the CEO and the CFO come on board. I'm hoping they handle it. I'm hoping that they handle it at their convenience and at the timing that is fine for them, because there is no rush for GameStop to sell stock right away. There's no need for it. They don't need money this second. They got $700 million in the bank. So if the shares do a run and they piece off stock at 280 to 300, I'm a happy guy. No need to drop it down here, but I don't know. No word. There's been nothing apparently released that I'm aware of. Has anyone seen anything? I haven't seen anything. So no filings to tell me they've done it. It's 221.50 right now, by the way. The stock is at the low of the day right now. 221.02 is the low of the day for GameStop right now. 221.02. Volume on GameStop this morning has been 1.4 million. Very quiet opening, so it's very slight. 221 right now, down 788 is where the stock is at. And that's it at the moment. That's what we have. We're waiting for the new CEO to take over and CFO to come in, and then we'll find out if they've got any plans for a possible special dividend of some sort, or a coin thing, or we got a lot of news to hear about, I think. Anyway, there you going. There you go. That's what we're talking about. What else is going on? Yeah, here we go. He debunked multiple conspiracy theories and explained how to achieve world peace. That's a problem. You can't do that anywhere. That's not good. I bought 300 more shares of FAII today at $9.97. Congratulations, James. Buying on the day of the meeting at these prices, you're a genius. By the way, $9.32 on that stock right now. It's $9.32 on FAII. You can scoop it up down here. I cannot believe these prices on this stock. It is just mind-boggling to me what is going on. There've got to be some shorters trying to muck it up, thinking that this stock isn't worthy. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Mind-blowing to me. $9.30 a share right now on Fortress. Right now on 647,000 shares. There's no trading. I mean, there's no serious volume here. 669,000 trading at 9.30. Touched 9.28 just a moment ago on a dip here. This is an opportunity to scoop super cheap paper. I can't explain it. If I could, I would, but I can only comment and I can only react to what I'm seeing, and what I am seeing is just making my head shake, going, really? You're selling this stock that they're just about to merge with ATI, and they're sitting on 650 million cash, and they're going to continue to grow out. I don't know. So 938 right now. It's coming back up here. No idea how that is going. It is just blowing my mind. Anyway, there you go. And let's continue on here. Thank you, everybody. Living in a van down by the river. That's called boondogging. That's right. Boondogging is living in a van down by the river. I saw that comment. Love it. Thank you. SoFi, a 2080 on sale. It's 2106 now. SoFi has bounced back. Let's see. Uncle Bruce, are you saying that there are people with different opinions? Is that what you're saying? The world isn't black or white. Is that what you're saying? If I have a different opinion, that doesn't mean another person's opinion is invalid. This is crazy. I don't even agree with myself most of the time. Independent, though, I'm telling Big Brother on you right now. Nice that GHVI Matterport hired away that 20-year Google executive. Yep. They're stealing people, and watch out, man. Gore's Holdings, but it's down too. 1486, down 53 cents. It's off 53 cents today. Virgin VGAC down 44 cents to 1103. It's off this morning. There are some bargains popping up here on some of the SPACs we're following. I don't know why. Don't know what's going on, but this is what's going on. Someone's saying something. Somebody's saying something somewhere. Wow, FAII on sale. 916 on FAII, 916 right now. Wow, this is amazing. I am blown away. Free thinking secularist Yoko was a nice woman. Swing entry. Dip on GameStop. What a morning we have going here. We've got GameStop at $222.99, SoFi at $21.10, FAII at $9.15 a share, down 80 cents. AMC now $64.48, going higher at $7.50 a share. Agor's $14.80, down 59 cents. VGAC $11.03, down 44 cents. Fifth Wall down to nickel. Vector up at 7 cents. And Navicite unchanged, and Starboard up 2 cents. But some of the SPACs we are following are taking a hit this morning. I'm seeing these dips and I'm going, wow, this is amazing. 64.24 on AMC is what's going on. Dip on most of the market right now. Another 400 SoFi. I just got them. I hope it pays off. You buy one, everybody wants out. That's exactly it. AMC is ripping. GameStop is not going for the ride. 222 on GameStop. AMC 63.76. Fortress at 920. Popped a little bit. Gore's down 62 cents to 14.77. VGAC at 11.04, down 44. SoFi 21.08, 21.10, down 72 cents right now is what we got going on this market. Unbelievable. Let's see. Should we be prepared for Bruce to be under the weather tomorrow? We're going to find out tonight. Congrats on the second shots. The sense of relief is real, y'all. We're getting ours tonight. Let's see. AMC. Oh my God. Laughing out loud. Check out AMC 6402. TMI, Bruce. Bagel. We are not afraid. There you have it. We are cyborg. Oh no, Yoko with the little Jen making an appearance on the show soon. Massive discount on FAII, 923 right now. Uncle Bruce, beware of the second shot. I felt sick the next day for about hours after the second dose. Stay hydrated, extra strength Tylenol. Let's see. Bruce was wrong about this one. It's okay. It happens. He can't be right all the time. Let's see. The Fed inflation fears are really messing things up right now. You should be, and you are, or you wouldn't be here. Oh, okay. FAII 934 down 61 cents. ATI physical therapy is what FAI is going to become here. Yep, FAI is paying for itself. Just got another 100 at 952. 934 right now on FAII. 2103 on SoFi. Gore's 1474 and VGAC 1103, all on sale right now. Damn, I bought FAI 997 earlier. I feel bad now. SoFi options are still very high. Why aren't they dropping with the stock? I've got to tell you something. AMC 63.83 right now. Let's see. I have a SoFi call expiring next Friday. It's in the money now. Bought it $19.50. When do I sell it? Keep an eye. These shares, though, can reverse course. They could go down this much, and they can turn it around and go up the same amount at any time. Do not be surprised. Let's see. FAI is free falling like Tom Petty right now. It's at 936. 936 right now. FAII right now. 936. Let's see. Man, Bruce hates to talk about AMC. Well, what can I say? 63.53. Congratulations for AMC shareholders. But is it worth it? You tell me. It does what it does, though. We got ketchup. A
little darker than normal. Ooh, I might not have been paying attention.
Well toasted bagel today. Ooh, wow, thank you.
That's how I like it.
It's crispy. We like it crispy. We're going to be all right, I'm sure. We're going to be just fine. What can I say? Let's go. A red day today. SoFi, I'm buying the dips. 20.95 on SoFi again, down 87 cents. 219.56 on GameStop. 936 on FAII. 62.87 on AMC. 14.65 on Gore's, down 74 cents. VGAC 11.03, down 44 cents right now. Let's go. Bill Gates didn't make the China virus. Bill Gates made the vaccine make you magnetic. In the immortal worlds of Shaggy 2 dope thing magnets, how do they work? Okay. Wow. I just say wow. Wow. FAII 937. Let's have some bagel and get this market going up if that's possible. We'll have a bite here as GameStop is 219.76. Oh yeah. Lovely. Bruce, is it fair to say the stocks could go up, could also go down? I guess. They can go down, they can go up. Yeah. 938 on GameStop on FAII. AMC is simply killing it. GameStop has a lot of ground to make up. Fingers and other undimensionables are crossed. My. Bagels are good. 220 on GameStop. Let's go. Let's go. 940 on FAII. Okay. FAII 944 coming back on again at the moment, but it's a market that is running around like crazy. That merger will happen though. It's taking place. Got some at 930. Way to go. GHVI 1465 down 74. VJC 1106 dips. Opportunities on your contracts. You can finally pick some of these up perhaps at a good price. FAII now 944. We have a SPAC sale going on. Everything must go, go, go. SoFi will be back to 22 by the end of the day. Well, it's at 2105. 944 on FAII, 946 now. 220 on GameStop, 63.48 on AMC, up 647. Scooped FAI at 904. Well done. 946 on FAII. What a scoop that was. Holy moly. Gord's Jan contracts at 225. I grabbed more at 920. Woohoo. Way to go. I just put in 500 into FAI. SoFi, they were dipping lovely sale prices. FAI just got a few more at 918. Nice buy. 947 now on FAII. I have no idea. What else is happening here? Just got me some more FAII. Well, Gores has definitely been, getting cheaper. No question about that. But FAI, 937. What can I say? I agree. Why would you sell it under 10? Can't you just sell it to the company? Christina, beautiful. Got my shots months ago. Now I'm in Jamaica at a private villa. Worth it. Way to go. GameStop 218.33, down 11 right now. 62.93 on AMC right now. FAII 939. Current plan, sell my AMC, go into GameStop equals 2 squeezes. AMC traded 90 million. AMC now volume of 99.9 million. That's not 100 million an hour, is it? But it is trading. Or is it 100 million an hour? Yeah. I mean, it's trading 63.08, but it's got to keep it up. Can it? Can it? A sale is a sale. FAA November $10 calls for 250 for 1250 or 180 for 180. Calls for $10 calls for 250 or 1250 for 180. Oh, I see what you're doing. Get the tens. Get the tens. Yeah, get the tens. FAII 934 now. AMC 6365. Gores at 1483. VGAC 1108. SoFi 2113. All righty. Got a 300 FAII for 916. Well done. Well done. Let's see. Just average down on FAII. Bought FAI 920. All right. Okay. I bought 10 more FAII. Missed the 918 on FAII. Putting a limit order in for another 100 at 930. Love those crispy bagels. Picked up 1250 game Gores for January for stupid cheap. Exactly how much money am I going to make? Let's go. Keeping it crispy. Charred bagel today. Love the crunch. I'm in the green on FAII. 930 right now, down 65 cents. What a bargain. The time will come to write a call contract, but not here. You want to wait for a while. You want the stock to get to 15, 20 bucks. Take a look around the 20, 25 range. Let's see what we can do here. I'm very happy with my entry price now. Vincent, thank you, Vincent. Market beats average target for FAI is 14 bucks. Looks like free money to me. I tell you, there are analysts who are calling the stock much higher than what it's trading at. Much higher. And this at the moment, the market doesn't seem to care. I don't know why. 935 on the stock. Okay. You ever put butter on a Pop-Tart, Bruce? It's awesome. I was sitting on a beach last week and my account went up 25 grand in one day. Today, sitting behind a desk and the accountant's down 15,000. I think I'm going back to the beach. That's where I'm going. It's coming. It should be today. Again, I don't understand it. Do you ever feel like Jim Carrey on The Truman Show? I do. $218 on GameStop. $938 on FAII. The Dow's down to 142. $217 on GameStop. Low of the day. About right around that right range. Okay. Way to go. 3 more contracts. Good job. I'm almost done. Thank you, everybody. Oh my. Robert, I can understand your question. Covered sell at 70 that expires Friday. Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. The call, you wrote it. I don't know. Anyway, George Gage, I got 45 contracts at 80 for July. Doesn't help me. I have no idea what the stock is and what the anything is. Anyway, average down to 992 on FAI. Suffering a little bit right now, but I'm holding. It's buying time. Will it moon tomorrow? Happy FAA day. It's now at 944, down 51 cents. Okay, who fainted? Telling me there are no shares left on AMC. It's sitting at 63.16, up 616 on the day for AMC right now. The high was 64.70 about half an hour ago. 109 million. That is not unbelievable volume coming through. It's good, but it's I don't know if it's going to be enough. We'll have to see what's going on here. Uncle Bruce, my additions for today include FAII, Gore, SoFi, cumulative total 1,277 shares. You buy on the dips. Those are the days you buy. That's right here. VGAC down 40 cents to 1107. Gore's at 1476, down 62. FAII 945 now, down 50. SoFi 2109, down 73. Anyway, there you go. I left an hour ago. Is it time to panic yet? Time to buy cheap stock. We're at 217 on GameStop. Got my second shot today. Bill, well done, buddy. Well done. Let's see, Bruce. I wrote a VGAC call at 1750 expiring this Friday. Asked 10 cents. What was that? Does someone need to buy this in order to collect the premium, or will it expire worthless today or nobody buys? Okay. I see. So you wrote the call before. And you don't have to do anything. VGAC, the stock's at 1106. If the stock stays under 1750 by Friday, your call will expire worthless. You keep all the money. All right, that's the deal. That's all you need to do. You don't need to buy it back. You don't have to do anything right now. If that's the game plan you've got going on, if that's what you truly have going on, 63.55 on AMC. Let's see. If Uncle Bruce says not to panic, then I ain't gonna panic. Yeah. Well, why is AMC running right now? Well, it ran a bit, but it's topped out and it's now at 62.59. There's just a strong retail following. I talked about this yesterday about the new normal. There's a new normal that Wall Street, may not be aware of. There's a new normal, and that is retail investors around the world have small pieces of stocks. So 3.5 million shares, 3.5 million people own AMC shares. That's the latest estimate. 3.5 million shareholders own that company. That's telling me that many of them own less than 10 shares each. And if you only own 10 shares of AMC at $10, you've got $100 into this thing. You own 10 shares at $15, you got 150 into this thing. You own 5 shares at 40, you got $200 into this thing. The kind of money that people have into AMC on average, not specific certain people, but is so small that even if these shares fluctuate $20 up or down, they're not going to get rid of it. They're playing with play money. It's not mortgage money. It's not grocery money. It's not car payment money. And so a lot of AMC stock is held in very strong hands that are going, hey, I'm happy putting up $100 to $500 of my money on this thing, and I don't care if I lose it all because I don't think I'm going to lose it all. And my thinking is, along with the other 3.5 million of me, we're going to hold this and let the market figure it out with what's left trading. And there might only be 10 million or 20 million or 30 million shares trading that are really trading in tradable hands. And any kind of volume on GameStop of AMC could run the market. And today, with 100 million plus traded, it's higher. It's up right now $5 to 62. Maybe it can reach again another higher level. But people are sitting there at 62 going, yeah, I'm up $20, but I'm only up $20 on 5 shares. I'm only up $100 on my investment. In other words, none of the 3.5 million people who own the stock can sell the stock now and retire for the rest of their lives. No one has made the score. The score has to come from these shares going to 500 a share or 1,000 a share. Because if you've got 10 shares or 20 shares at $10, and they're worth 500 a piece, you got 10 grand. But at 60 a piece, you've got $600 for your $120 buy. You're up, but you're not retired up. You see, there's the thing about AMC that's happening here. GameStop has, I'm sure, over 1 million shareholders, but it doesn't have 3.5 million shareholders, but it could get that many. That's the thing about GameStop that has this unbelievable potential to me, because if GameStop does announce some kind of a coin dividend, that could create such a buzz among small investors that there could be 1 million investors that would want to get into GameStop for 1 share each, 2 shares each, to help the squeeze, to help create a squeeze, get the man, as it were. That would run GameStop to 400 a share right there, just like that. Everyone would get a $10 coin for every share they had, and the coin is usable on the website, that type of thing. Knowing that the shorters on GameStop don't have the coin to hand out, and they can't get the coin to hand out. They have to buy the coin on the open market, and theoretically, the market of the coin could be $50 a coin, where people are getting 1 for every share they have, and now they've got a coin worth $50 on the open market. Nice deal, right? You sell the coin for $50, which reduces your cost of your stock by $50 a share. Beautiful scenario. But if the shares go into this 400 or 500 range because of the short squeeze on these coins and all this, the company then announces a 10-for-1 stock split. The hype on the stock on GameStop would then probably double it, and you've got a $1,000 stock on your hands. So yeah, that would create 1 million people to want to buy into GameStop for sure. An additional 1 million new shareholders buying 1 to 5 to 10 to 20 shares a piece, 30 shares each. You get that kind of volume of people coming in to pick up 50 million shares of GameStop to hold, to not flip, to hold. Where are they getting that from? They're not going to get that here at $217 a share. It quickly will just skyrocket in price. And of course, the speculators all over it on top of that to run the market. Oh my God, it would just be out of control. AMC, if they could go from 3.5 million shareholders to 5 million shareholders, if AMC could add another 1.5 million shareholders to buy into this stock and not sell it, and they are picking up 100 shares each, 10 shares each, that could create a squeeze. Another short-term shortage of paper at these levels, running it to 80, 90 a share. It could happen. There are the theoretical thing of it is what's dominating the story. The theoretics is dominating the stock price. And that is the thinking out there. There's more buyers than sellers, and the buyers are small buyers, and they're not risking everything they have to do it. This is what screws up short sellers big time. It absolutely blows them out of the water because they realize they can't scare the sellers out, because they have to scare out 1 million people. And they can't scare out 1 million people that own 2 to 5 to 20 shares each. They haven't got enough on the line to worry about. That's why GameStop has limited downside as well. GameStop is at $217, down $11. The hedge funds can't scare the shareholders out of GameStop. They don't own enough to be hurt financially to any great extent. Now, there are people who are overexposed in every stock, period, that's out there. Yes. And they do get shaken out. And they've been shaken out. They're gone already. The AMC people who were overexposed, they got blown out from 76 down to 30-something a share in the last 2 weeks. They're gone now. They've been replaced with a new breed of new gamblers coming in, including people who are buying too much AMC that they shouldn't be buying. But they're gambling and they're winning, and they're going, I'm winning, I don't care. Same with GameStop. They got shook out at 340 all the way down to 206, and now we're back at 217, and the shakeout is just about complete. And now we have a new rollover, and here we go again. FAII, 970 a share after crapping out down to 901. That was the low trade this morning on 1.5 million shares of FAII. We're now at 965 a share, coming back down only 30 cents on the day. SoFi, 21 bucks a share, down 82. The low, 2082, about an hour ago or so. We've got Gore's Holdings at 1470, low of 1454. Hasn't really recovered much yet on only 121,000 shares. There's no trading here. It's really quiet. VGAC, low of $11, trading at 1108. It is a bargain down here. 785,000 traded, and they start trading as 23andMe on Thursday, day after tomorrow. Just stick around. Let's see what it does. A Fifth Wall down a dime to 1140. Vector Acquisition up a penny to 1023. NavSite at 996, down 2 pennies. SVAC 1004, down 2 cents. That's where we're at right now in this market. The Dow down 156, not helping. S&P down 10. NASDAQ down 71. It's not a terrible sell-off for the big boards, the big markets. We're between 1/4 percentage point and 0.5 percentage point differential. That's it. There's nothing going on here. What can I say? Welcome one, welcome all. Go AMC. God bless you guys. Make money. But you're only at 62 now. You were at 67, and now you're at 62. I don't know. I bought some FAII September 17, 2021, $10 strike calls on that dip. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Way to go. Let's see what else is going on. Lots of comments going through here, and lots of folks picking up cheap paper, which I congratulate you on. Well done, everybody, picking up some cheap stuff. SoFi needs to go up right now. 2108, FAII 968 coming back. Let's go. More bagels and Yoko talk, please. Oh, yes. Thank you, everybody. What else is happening? Thank you all for joining in and following here. 960 on FAII, 6306 on AMC right now. Taking a look here at, let me take a look at Bed Bath & Beyond here. Bed Bath & Beyond down 88 cents. BlackBerry down 27. They're not catching the wave either. They're not getting the AMC wave. Only AMC is on its own from what I can see here at this moment. At least the ones that I follow anyway. There you go. VJC 1109 down 38 cents. That's what we got. 1478 now on Gores. Little bounce back. FAII 960 down 35 cents. GameStop 218.58. The low on GameStop today 214.94. It's now 218.56. And it's down 4.7%. Nowhere near low enough to be restricted on short sales. So it's not having a bad enough day at this point. Okay. Let's go here. Farragut, some people have SPACs backwards. They think that merger completion is the time to get out. No. Before pipe funding is looted, blows my mind. No, not even. This is the time to get in. There's going to be so much news coming out on these companies now. Anyway, there you go. Should we be setting stop loss? If so, how much for option and stocks? Is it true that brokerage have access to our stop loss orders and use them to trip the stop loss orders? I wouldn't be doing any stop losses on these at this point. I just wouldn't be doing it. Don't even bother doing that. Oasis, I went out to the movies this past weekend. It was really fun and a relief to be back. The theater was only half full, but at least it was quiet. There you go. They're not making money at half full. They need more than that. That's for sure. That is for sure. Let's see. I'm just so glad to be here, says D. Great. Um, we're not leaving, says Free Thinker. Let's see. Not really. I'm not following the Muds Tops merger. I really am not. I can't. No. Bruce, you are the man for that one. I just got 3 more contracts for SoFi. October 15th, 2250 calls for 330. Right on for October. And let's see. Let's go. Oh, I'd be happy with the theaters only half full permanently. I did eat all the bagel. It's done. I can't stop, won't stop. GameStop 218.44 on GameStop, trying to come back up a bit. We'll see. WHO, the World Health Organization, says that the Delta variant of the COVID is now in 74 countries. That is more spreadable and more deadly. We're watching out on that carefully. 21.16 on SoFi. That's bumped up a bit. GameStop is 218.06. And FAII now 970, down a quarter. AMC at 63.07, up $6, 602. Gore's 1480, a little better. And VGAC now back to 1110. Fenneville, 17 total contracts for SoFi, 2250 now. I won't forget you, Uncle Bruce. I agree with Freethinker. Uncle Bruce, you make otherwise stressful market days just chill. Julie, thought Mudstops was on your list. It's not on my list as a favorite, and I don't follow it very closely. I wasn't impressed with there was a lack of. I was looking for like a big pipe financing, and there wasn't one. And so I'm just going, well, it's a way for the company to go public, and there's a little bit of money in there, but it's not a big value deal, and it doesn't get me excited. Anyway, let's go, Bruce. I have another bagel so we can push VGAC up. Let's see here. I couldn't resist the dip. I bought 40 contracts for FAII July 16th, $10 strike price. I think I'm going to be all right. Scooping up $10 strikes on FAII. Stock is $9.68, down 27 cents. 21.12 on SoFi. At the moment, still down 70 on the day. 217.51 to 218 on GameStop. $63 on AMC. Right now, the Dow is still down 163, low of the day. S&P down 11.8, Nasdaq down 78. Remember, the markets have had 6-7 straight up days. Of the last 15, most have been up days, only a couple of down days. We have not had any kind of pullback out there. We need that from time to time. We need kind of a flushing out. What will happen is certain stocks will flush out a lot quicker than others, and as markets sort of stabilize, certain stocks will recover quicker than others and go higher yet. So let's see what gives. Anyway, there you go. Let's see. Movie theaters. Movie theaters are like going for a buggy ride when on vacation. Romantic, unique experience, but it only happens rarely. Let's see. Moving on here. Stay calm, buy the dips. Uncle Bruce, as these SPACs merge and become public, I'm sure you'll keep us up on selling our calls, etc. What are types of stocks you'll focus on? More SPACs or branching out into small cap buyouts? It'll be whatever I see gives us the best return. What makes the most sense? It might be more SPACs. It might be long established companies that are just too good to resist. Trending market conditions going certain directions, like computer chip shortages. I'm recommending an ETF. I'm telling you to buy options on an ETF, long out on an ETF. It varies. It absolutely varies. My favorite theater is an art house theater where they show weird ass classics and old Swedish copies of 1980s action movies. Lots of free seats. And who's the better guitar player? Can't go into that right now. Sorry, a little busy here. Here we go. Listen to Zykstra call. They feel confident the supply chain issues won't affect them. That online retail is expanding. They have a partnership with NVIDIA, and federal contracts equals high growth. I believe it. Do you have any recommendations, Bruce, on what percentage of your
options be compared to stock holdings? Consumer my account is 80% options. Am I swinging for the fences too hard? At the moment with these SPACs that I'm recommending, I'm telling you to buy the SPACs on these dips, and I'm telling you to look at long-term contracts. If you're 50-50, I'm a happy guy. Even if you're 70-30 on the options, fair enough. You're looking at the leverage factor. Again, I really like these contracts way out to January. I like them way out there. It makes days like today become irrelevant. It's not pleasant. It's not fun to have down days, but you're going to have them. We're going to get them, and it's the way it is. And you reposition yourself or you grab yourself some deals. Thank you very much. We move on. If you're an option writer on GameStop, for example, and you've been writing in the last week 300s, 320s, 280s, 270s, 260s, you are grinning from ear to ear right now. Your contracts are plummeting in value, which is great because you're short the contracts. And come this Friday and next Friday, you're going to be cashing in a lot of money. And this is where the dollars go into these deals on dips. Way to go. AMC, if you're long stock on AMC, you can write call contracts right now for $80, 90, 100, bring in some serious premium money and utilize that to pick up call contracts on some of these SPACs on these dips. Way to go. You're diversifying your portfolio and you're picking up call contracts on a leverage basis way out into the future. I like your chances of making a lot of money here. There you have it. Anyway, see what's going on. What else is going on here? Bruce, I'm sweating more than a pig in an oven in this Texas heat, but just wanted to say it's not a lose till you sell. That's right. That is correct. That is correct. What do we got? Only 872 thumbs ups. Is that true? 874 right now. That's all we got. Only 874 thumbs ups. People hate the truth. What can I say? People hate down days too. SoFi 21.12 down 70 cents right now. That's where we're at on SoFi right now. We got GameStop at 217.85. We have FAII at 966. VACQ at 1026, Gord's at 1478, AMC 6336 down, is up 636 right now. SVAC at 1004, Fifth Wall at 1149, NSH 998, GameStop 217.25 is where we're at right now. As we are watching the market do what it does from time to time, the Dow's off half of a percentage point to 176 on the downside. No big deal. I mean, there ain't no action happening here, kids. We got the S&P down 13 points and we have NASDAQ down 76. And we just do not have a really bad day going on. We're also watching, of course, the president having his meeting with Mr. Putin shortly. People are worried about that, wondering about that, curious about that, everything about that. And we have the Fed having 2-day policy meetings today and tomorrow. And that's what's going on in the big, big world out there, kids. 217 on GameStop right now. The low on GameStop, 212.06 today. We're sitting at 217 right now on GameStop. 966 on FAII as it seems to be coming on a little bit here. The low 901, it is 65 cents higher than the low of the day. Why the drop? Who, what, where, when? I cannot say. It is not up to me to be able to answer that question necessarily. I can only watch what I'm watching and react to it. I think the dips are the way to go. Let's go. Until the Fed meeting tomorrow, we might be going sideways. Come on, folks, hit that likes up for Bruce. If you're stressed today, just zoom out on your portfolio should help. There you have it. There you have it, as it were. Let's go. Is today a down day? Maybe, but that could turn, right? It could turn. Let's go here. Sorry, folks. Down days are actually when I get some work done. 966 on FAII, down 30 cents. Gore's now 1476, down 63. VGAC 1104, down 43 cents. If I wrote a call contract, a GameStop 370, I could collect the premium and the price surges. It's headed to 370 fast. Would it be smart to hedge my buying more shares below 370, anticipating covering? Well, if you sell contracts at 370 for way out and bring in a bunch of money, and then use that money to buy more stock right now at 217 on GameStop, if that's what your plan is, the shares go up to 270, 280. You're a happy camper. You're up $70 on every share you bought, which is from the premiums of the stock you already got. Smart, smart, smart. Everywhere smart. The shares go to, the shares go to 260, 270, and you bought enough stock to write another one or two call contracts because of all the stock you bought. Smart. The shares stay under 370 though between now and by the time those contracts expire. You keep all that cash and you can write new contracts all over again. Smart. And keep diversifying. You write the contracts now, bring in a bunch of money and buy all kinds of calls on these SPACs that have all dipped here, including SoFi. I say that's smart. I think that's very smart. Just what I'm saying. What I'm thinking and the way I'm feeling it. But that's just me. Just me. Well, here you go. Uncle Bruce, on down days, do you think it's okay to write puts on stock I wouldn't mind owning if it dips lower? Well, you can look at that. I mean, you want to get a nice premium on these contracts if you can, so that if the stock, doesn't go down there, you cash the premium, which is what you really want, right? Anyway, there you go. Let's see. I dumped some BA to buy these delicious dips. Today is buy day. It's a flash sale. Aaron, thank you for this donation. Thanks for your advice. Always a pleasure listening and learning. Also give this man his thumbs ups. It is what it is. Thank you. Buying GameStop. There you go. Morning, Uncle B. Noticed how SoFi is being obliterated. Why the attack? I'm losing money on SoFi as we speak. $21 a share. It is a bargain here. And like I say, I like it. Discipline is pretty important. Anyone I talk about the stock market in my personal life basics says if the market goes down $1, they panic and sell. And that's true. And that's where you make the money on the panickers. They're the ones who can make you the money. You're getting their dips. Thank you for the gifts. What do we got here? Uncle Bruce, do you have any thoughts on what's going on with the reverse repos? The reverse repos. I have no thoughts. I have no idea what you're talking about. Dips are for chimps. Which platforms allow writing options? You have to look for those yourself. Uncle B, might you have any comments on SEC Rule 02 going into the effect? Something about automated margin calls or something like that. No, I have no comments. I have no thoughts. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. Bargoon. That's what I'm saying. There are bargoons right now. We've got the Dow down 164, 165. That's pressure, but it's only 0.48 of a percentage point for the Dow. S&P down 10.9 points. NASDAQ down 68. This is nothing. We haven't even got a half a percentage point of movement here. There's nothing going on. Oil is at 71.81. Who cares? No big deal. Let's go here on our stocks now. SoFi, 21.04, down 77 cents. GameStop, 217.01. FAII, 962, down 32 cents. AMC at 63.53, up 6.50 a share. High of the day, 64.70. So it's $1.20 from the high, holding the range on 134 million shares at 11 in the morning Eastern time. All right, Gore's at 14.72, down 67 cents, low of 14.54, with 143,000 volume. Very quiet. VGAC 11.03, down 44 cents. Low of the day, $11. It's right at its low here on 857,000 shares. It starts trading at 23andMe as 23andMe day after tomorrow. Fifth Wall, 11.44, down 6 cents. Vector down 4 cents to 10.18. NavSite up a penny to 9.99. Starboard down 2 pennies to 10.03. That's where we're at on the stocks we follow the closest right now at this moment in time. 216 on GameStop, 216.54 on GameStop. Let's go here. Reverse repo is a short-term agreement to purchase securities in order to sell them back at slightly higher prices. Repos and reverse repos are used for short-term borrowing and lending, often overnight. Very good. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on it. Central banks use reverse repos to add money to the money supply via open market operations. Fabulous. What's up with NSH? Webull does options and shows level 3 book. Credit Savage just bought 5 Gores $15 contracts for January at $3.20, a bit on the high side, but much better than the $5. It's a win. There you go. They've come down. Gores at $3.20 for January 2022. Gores at $14.83 right now. The low on Gores today was $14.54. We're now at $14.83. A little better than this morning's number, but not a lot going on. Waiting for Gores to tell us the date of the shareholder vote, as usual. All right. Very interesting. That's what the market is doing right now. We're watching what is going to happen. There are fears that the Delta variant may become dominant COVID strain worldwide, as the World Health Organization says it's now in 74 countries. It's a fight you don't want. The Texas court ruling is requiring employees to get COVID-19 vaccinations. California is ending most of its coronavirus restrictions. High lumber prices and other barriers choke the confidence of home builders and home buyers. And let's see. Do you know how much money your coworkers are making? Headline. This study has bad news for workers who find out how much their coworkers are making. Interesting stuff there. Let's see. Sometimes one thing to think about doing when it comes to reflecting on your life and your career and what you're going to do and what you're thinking of doing going forward. Sometimes a good idea is to contact an employment agency and just trying to find out what are you worth. Employment agencies can give you an idea of the position that you have, what that should pay you. You might find out from a headhunter, for example. If you ever look up a headhunting agency, you give them a call and have a chat with a headhunter and say, look, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been working with this company. These are my job responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm getting paid. These are my benefits. How do I fit in with respect to the overall marketplace? And the headhunter might say to you that in the town you're in or the city you're in, you're doing rather well, or in the state you're in, you're doing well. But he or she may also say to you, you are 20% underpaid on average now at this point, because when I place someone of your caliber in corporations around here where we are right now, I am getting these people at least 20% more than what you're getting. Now, that could mean that the headhunter will add you to the Rolodex and go, hey, the next time I see an opening for a job like yours, let me see what I can do for you. Now, obviously, what I've been talking about lately is this new working from home and working remotely game, where a lot of you are figuring out that you might want to be a remote worker and not go back into an office setting anymore. And you might have to leave your employer to do it. You might have to shift and switch. Again, talking to headhunters and employment agencies might be a very good way to find your next gig, because you might say to them, I'm employed now with company so-and-so, but they want me to go back to the office, in August or September. But I would rather be here. What can I do, or what can be done? And the employment agent might say, hey, look, I'm talking to companies across the USA, and there's openings for your job. There's a need for your position for a bunch of companies. And if you're happy to work at home, they're happy to have you work at home, by the by. How about this gig? How about I introduce you to company so-and-so? I can tell you that they're looking to pay about this much money, which might be 40% more than you're getting, or equal, or better, who knows. Would you be interested? Now you have this interesting scenario popping up in front of you where, wow, I can be headhunting, I can be job hunting right from my living room. I don't have to get out of I don't have to shave, I don't have to dress, I don't have to shower. Although if I do a Zoom meeting, I better make myself up. And people are figuring out ways to get employed with other employers to get what they want. And what they want is a combination of fair payment for services rendered, and they would like this home lifestyle to continue. Here you go. And you may find that your new employer is 500 miles away from you, 1,000 miles away, in an office in another country entirely. It's a real eye-opener for a lot of you out there, and I highly encourage you to embrace it and research it, look into it. Could be the way of the future for you. I think it's going to be the part of the new normal, just myself. SoFi, $21 a share right now, down 82 cents on 1.6 million. Nothing going on volume-wise. The Dow is down 166. It's at the low of the day, roughly. That's not helping things, but that's what it's doing. We have GameStop at 216.12 now, down 13.32. We've got FAII at 9.61, down 34 cents. AMC at 63.06, hanging on to the 63 level at the moment. Gores, 14.77, low of the day, 14.54. Not much of a recovery. VGAC at 11.02. This is low of the day territory right here. This is bargain time right here. This company will trade at 23andMe day after tomorrow on the New York Stock Exchange. And that is where we're at right now. Otherwise, Vanek Vector's down 98 cents to 253.90. Home Depot down 424. IBM down 58 cents. The Dow is down 166, as I was saying. The low of the day for the Dow is right around here. We're about 10 points away from the low of the day on the Dow, down 165 points. Microsoft, it's down 70 cents. Apple down 73 cents. These stocks are not the problem. They're not the problem today. Tesla down 764 on a $600 stock. Not the problem. Where are the losses coming from, I wonder? Let me take a look over here. Right over here, and let me take a look at here. And we'll see what we can do over there. And there you go. We have the markets right here. The S&P down 10 points, NASDAQ down 70, Russell down 15. Nothing going on to worry about here. There's talk about the inflation talk. What else is new? We're hearing about that all the time. And on the Dow right now, let's see what we have here as we click this over here. Are we getting anything over here? Yeah, nothing much here. Best movers on the Dow would be Chevron, up 1.5% because of oil. American Express is up 1%. Verizon is up a quarter percentage point. McDonald's up 0.19. There's nothing going on the upside. The downside is JP Morgan, Home Depot, Caterpillar, Goldman Sachs, and Salesforce. They're the losers leading the Dow lower. NASDAQ losers, Activision, Peloton, NetEase, DocuSign, and Fastenal. On the upside for NASDAQ, it's Micron Technology, Pinduoduo, Cintas, Dollar Tree, CDW. Those are your winners and losers. S&P 500, the winners are Exxon, Diamondback, Synchrony Financial, Nove Inc., and Occidental Petroleum. Losers, Freeport, McMoran, Alexandria Real Estate, looks like Nucor, Activision, and Take-Two Interactive are the losers. So that's what you got going on the big boards from where I sit here. But the markets are not even moving a half a percentage point. They really are just not doing anything. And it's death by boredom is what we're suffering from here. I think that's what I think's going on here.
Anyway, there you have it. Do you recommend any stop loss or anything like that on profit taking? No, I don't. I don't do that. The calls that you buy, the calls that I'm telling you you should be buying, are those long calls, and days like today do not matter. And so you will not react to days like today. If you are in the right calls, it will not react and will not have an effect on your account to any great extent. That's how I'd figure it. Let's see. SoFi has stabilized around 2105. FAI has done the same at 960. We've got right now these markets 2110 on SoFi, 960 FAII, 216.50 on GameStop right now. AMC at 62.89. Couldn't hold $63. Slipping a little bit there. Not much, but a little. Gore's 1475 and VGAC at 1102. Yeah, here you have it. And let's go. I quit my job, and they're already thinking of taking me on as a contractor. I work on my rules. Now you're talking. That's right. You talk to them about being a contractor on an hourly consulting basis. You're going to charge more per hour than you were getting paid before, for sure. And let's see. I guess everyone's dream job would be to retire early from some good training gains and continue to trade. There's that too. And let's see here. And here we go. My broker just messaged me and confirmed Gores will become Matterport. There. Well, that's good to hear. 1477 on the stock. My bosses used to give me so much crap about WFH since 2017, working from home. Always arguing with me and saying myths about how it hurts productivity. Not a peep since COVID hit, and they're all went through working from home though. They're all doing it themselves, and that's something free thinker. Bobster, I love dipping my chips in these dips. There you go. Let's see. Way to go, you guys. Way to go. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you here, Lynx. I am a bit puzzled myself. How can the low be 212? The chart doesn't show it. It could well be a typo. It could be a typo at the website, whoever's running it, and it might have been a 216 low. I don't know. But it is now 217 on GameStop, isn't it? Yeah, that's what it is. It was middle management propaganda, anti-work from home nonsense. I tried to tell them I was more productive writing code in silence at home, but they didn't listen until March 2020. I tell you, that's why you want to be a consultant on your own. You want to be your own person, not get taken in by these guys. JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, that kind of raises an eyebrow. They're involved in all of this fudgery. Let's see here. I averaged down to 235 on Gores, January 22, strike $20. Gotta love discounts. There you go. Uncle Bruce, realizing the market will have its down days, flush out weekends. Do you think a lot of these weekly down days are hedge funds storing money, shorting everything to cover GameStop shorts? Do you have I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what it is. No one stock can cause that kind of a disruption. No way. Trey is on Fox Business today. Way to go, Trey. Headline on Bloomberg: Zombies defy bankruptcy logic amid meme-driven rally. I guess zombie hedge funds are getting desperate. There you go. Death by boredom. Uncle Bruce. Death by boredom. Well, that's, sometimes markets just don't excite people. That's the way it is. Funny though, you get a market like this, you get a stock market like today where it's down for the first few hours, and people are just kind of going, oh, and they're like, they're all bored out. And then it kind of meanders sideways for a while, and then there's a run. And like last night on the Dow, we had that last hour run last night, and it didn't follow through this morning, and it follows through this afternoon and just goes. And we end up with a 300-point gain on a day like today. And everything zooms up the other direction. And everybody who didn't buy on the dip goes, what was I not thinking? Why am I such a noob here? I missed it again. It happens. It's psychology. Right now, the psychology is more negative than positive, but this can turn on a dime. Once the psychology of the market, the actual market thinking is, oh, it's going to go higher now, people become buyers instantly, and that begats more buying.
which begats more buying, and off it goes. And you can't explain it. You can't. You try to explain it, but you can't. You have to allow it to happen. You just have to allow it to happen. What can I say? There you go. Your company, if you're, from who you work for, they're probably paying long-term leases, or they're invested in commercial real estate themselves. It's possible. There are a lot of offices out there that are being paid for right now that are not being utilized, and thankfully, the employees are still delivering the goods from home. But I think though that as each month goes by right now, more leases expire from 5 years ago. Every month leases expire, commercial, everything else. And there will be companies shrinking their space, shrinking it as each month goes by, as they review and renew their scenarios and think about the future. And they're gonna go, you know what? We don't need 20,000 square feet. We could go with 6 or 8. Why don't we source out some of the work we're doing now? Why don't we fire these 50 people, turn them into 50 contractors, and just hire them back as contractors, pay them a contract arrangement deal. They work from home, and we reduce our overheads. We don't have cubicles here. We let them go, and these people work remotely. And once we have turnover every once in a while, we just hire new remote workers to work for us. Why don't we buy into that philosophy? And I think that's coming. I think that's definitely going to be a big wave here. Anyway, there you have it. Anyway, I got 2 more Gores January 17.5 contracts for $250. I wish I had more powder right now. And GameStop had 1 spike down at 10:43. Couldn't someone exercise a call and knock the print down for a blip? Maybe, but really, let's see. Let's see. Don't forget to give Bruce thumbs ups. Trading is a business. Keep emotions out and you'll do fine. Tasty dips. I'm heavier on VGAC and Gore now. And I just found out yesterday my broker allows me to write calls, but not puts unless it's in the margin account. I wanted to write puts on down weeks and calls on up weeks. Title your live show AMC and GameStop get more views, Uncle Bruce. It's 212.06 for the low. Change your chart from lines to candles. There you go. And yep, our office closed 1 of 2 offices in our city. That's been happening. My company closed hundreds of offices across the U.S. and sent everyone home permanently. I will keep saying the market is a transfer of money from the patient to the impatient. Correct. I hope the irony of VR cubicles comes into existence. We broke positive again. I'm hoping for a surge soon. Headed out on an adventure. I'll have a fabulous afternoon, family. Thanks, Bruce and Jen. Ashley, thanks, Ashley. Reverse that laughing out loud from the impatient to patient. Imagine virtual water cooler. SoFi and FAI are hardly moving now, though that's better than it falling. 2102 on SoFi, 958 on FAI, 218 on GameStop, down 1087. 218.42. There we are. That's what we got. GameStop, AMC's back over 63 now, 63.39. Gore's now to 1484, and VGAC still 1103. That's what you got. That's where we're at. Yes, I'm imagining the virtual vending machines also. Yes, the IT's world virtual water cooler is Discord. That's the new virtual water cooler. People, I'm wondering what people are talking about, what's going on, what's happening out there. That is true. That is absolutely true. Thank you, everybody, for being here today, supporting this channel, following me today. Glad that you could make it. Hope you learned something new today, and hope you're a little wiser, a little more savvy, market savvy. Picked off some deals this morning that came your way. I was hoping you'd be able to do that, and I think some of you did very well today, picking up some real bargains, especially on FAII down to the 901 level. Are you kidding me? 9, 10, 12, 16, 920, 930. My goodness. I don't know. Just the market is what it is. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you like it. And it just takes a while to deliver. It is what it is. It does what it does. And there you have it. I left the hospital yesterday. I went from impatient to patient. Should I just pay myself now? Now you're talking. Oh, my. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Uncle Bruce. Thank you guys for being here. And you know what? I used to panic on days like this. However, I learned my lesson, and I just smile now on days like this. There you have it. Do I hold my SoFi with a Friday expiration or bail now? I'd hold. I just hold right now. Let the market recover this afternoon, and take a run here. Retiring from a job is over as we know it. FAII blew my mind today. These broker games are getting ridiculous. On Webull, you can trade any option strategy, but not in an IRA. On Fidelity, you can trade options in an IRA, but need to call a broker for GameStop options. Exactly. Good day, Bruce. Thanks for all you do, and for us tips very soon. We'll be on again this afternoon at 3 o'clock for the final hour of the day today. Got 956 thumbs up, so we need 44 more. Are we going to get 1,000 thumbs ups today? We're at 956. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. If you could help out, throw a thumbs up our way, get us over 1,000 right now before our day is done. That would be beautiful. I appreciate that. Only 85 thumbs down. 956 on the upside, 963 on the upside. They're coming in. Beautiful. Thank you, and thank you. 966 coming on for the thumbs ups. We'll take 1,000 thumbs ups if we can for this show today, and run with it and keep on going. 976, only 24 more thumbs ups needed. We have 1,000 folks here right now. Should be able to get to 1,000 thumbs ups in no time. Thank you, everybody, for hitting the thumbs up button. 983. Now we're only 17 away from 1,000. Now we're 10 away. 990 and counting. The 10 countdown is on. 8 to go. And they're coming in with only 8 left to go. 6 left to go now. 994 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody. 997. Oh, lovely. Lovely. And there it is. 1,000 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, for 1,000 thumbs ups. You got us over the hump, and we love it. 4 digits for the show. Much appreciated. SoFi, 2098 at the moment. FAII, 954 at the moment. 217.80 on GameStop right now. The Dow's down 166 at the lowish number of the day. S&P down 12. NASDAQ down 91. We'll watch this market for the next couple of hours. I'll be back on at 3 in the afternoon. We'll go through the close together. We'll see if we get a turnaround in the day here. If we can bust through here, that would be pretty good. Thank you, everyone, for these thumbs ups. There they are, 1,000, 1,000. We did it. Lift off. Thanks, Uncle B. Thank you for the super sticker, Benny. Appreciate it. Love the leg. Take one day at a time now. That was a good show. Thank you, everybody, for popping in and enjoying. We'll catch you at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll continue on. Catch you later. Great show, Uncle B. Thumbs. 217.86. Let's go, GameStop. To the moon, please. Down 176 on the Dow. A little lower. So we might be a little lower before we get a little higher. We'll just let the market do what it wants to do. It's okay. Rocket Lab wins NASA contract for Mars spacecraft as interplanetary missions become less costly. Very interesting. We'll be watching for that. That could make a move for our friends here at VACQ. Very, very good. Very, very good. We love that. There you go. Yeah, down only 3 cents at 10.18. Interesting stuff. Okay. Can't wait for this afternoon. Maybe I'll nap. I'll do some work, I guess. See you in a bit. Bye. See you, bagel lovers. See you later. And happy endings, everybody. Thank you. Seth, thank you for becoming a member. New member, Seth is here. Thanks, buddy. I love it. I think we're going to be just fine. All righty. Thank you. Thanks, Uncle Bruce and Jen. Great show this morning. Talk to you soon. Stay sharp. See you later. And welcome, Seth, to the show. Welcome, Seth, to the group. Nice to have you here. I love it. That's tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. All right, guys. We'll see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Bye for now.